A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, Something for Nothing by Robert Sheckley.
I woke up when I thought I heard a voice. But I must have been mistaken because there was no one in my room. There was the same network of cracks in the muddy yellow ceiling and the same water dripping slowly and mournfully through from the roof. I'd seen it 100 times before. The worst room in a cheap hotel. But then, when I swung my feet onto the floor, I saw it. It was a machine on the floor. It hadn't been there when I went to sleep the night before. It was about 3 feet square, and it was humming softly. The crackled gray surface was featureless, except for a red button in one corner and a brass plate in the center. I leaned in closer and read the marking. Class A Utilizer, Series AA1256432. Warning, this machine should be used only by Class A ratings. Hey, where did you come from? A utilizer, huh? What do you utilize? No switches, no knobs, just one red button. Okay, we'll give it a try. Here goes the button. All right, what happens now? Little green men drop from the ceiling? Okay, we'll push it again. Oh, come on, do something. Guess I'll have to pawn it. Unless Charlie will give me $1 for the metal for junk. Boy, it's heavy. Can't even get the corner off the floor. They should have sent me somebody to help.
Where do you want it, Mac?
Hey! Where did you come from?
Come on. We haven't got all day. Where do you want it? Lucky it's one of the small ones. The big models up roots to get a grip on.
Who are you?
Moving man. What do I look like? Queen of the May?
But where did you come from? You just appeared in the room. What are you doing here?
I'm from the Power Vinyl Movers Incorporated, and I came because you wanted movers. That's why. Now, where do you want it?
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. Look, you go away. I'll call for you later.
Okay, Mac. It's your problem.
Utilizer, huh? Utilizer. Well, I don't know where you came from, but I know what you are. You're a wishing machine. I suppose most people would be shocked if a wishing machine suddenly showed up in their room. But not me. Most of my life has been spent wishing, hoping, praying that something marvelous would happen to me. In high school, I dreamed of waking up some morning with an ability to know my homework without having to do it. In the Army, I used to wish for some witch to change my orders, put me in charge of the day room instead of forcing me to do close-order drill like everyone else. Out of the Army, I avoided work. You see, I'm kind of psychologically unsuited for it. I just drifted around hoping some fabulously wealthy person would for some reason change their will and leave me everything. I never really expected anything to happen, but now it did. All right, machine, let's go. I'd like $1,000 in small unmarked bills. There it is. How about that? 5 pence. They're all dirty. Just perfect. Okay, here's what I'll do. I'll get the machine out of New York. Maybe upstate someplace where I won't be bothered by nosy neighbors. I got a lot of problems on the income tax with this sort of thing. Well, maybe I get organized and I'll go to Central America. Hey, what's happening? There's a hole opening up in the wall. What? Somebody's trying to get through to me. The owner of the machine, he's trying to get it back. The hole's getting bigger. Hey, utilizer! Protect me!
Sanisar Leak, Temporal Wall Protection Service. What can I do for you?
That man coming through the wall, get rid of him! Get rid of him! He's almost through!
Oh, take it easy now. There's plenty of time. Let me see. Where did I put that unit?
There's his head!
Wait a minute. You don't understand. Now, wait.
Well, that takes care of him. Anything else?
Did you kill him?
Of course not. I just veered him back through his glommage. He won't try that way again.
Well, you mean he'll try some other way?
It's possible. He could attempt a microtransfer or even animation. Say, this is your utilizer, isn't it?
Of course. Sure it is, of course.
Then you're an A rating?
Naturally. If I wasn't, what would I be doing with a utilizer?
Oh, no offense. Just being friendly. Well, how you A's get around. I suppose you've come back here to do a history book.
Well, I'm really not permitted to say. You understand, don't you?
Oh, of course. I'll be on my way. One call after another, night and day. I'd be better off in a quarry. Bye.
There I was alone with the machine with $1,000 in small bills scattered around the floor. Those A ratings, whoever they were, had it pretty good. Want something, just ask for it. Press the button. Well, the next few days marked a great change in my fortunes. With the aid of the power vinyl movers, I took the utilizer to upstate New York. There I bought a medium-sized mountain in a neglected corner of the Adirondacks. And once the papers were in my hands, I walked to the center of my properties, several miles from the highway, with the men from the moving companies sweating behind me, carrying the utilizer. On all sides, as far as I could see, were closely spaced forests of birch and pine. The air was sweet and damp. Birds were chirping merrily in the treetops. An occasional squirrel darted by. I always loved nature. This would be the perfect spot to build a large, impressive house with swimming pool, tennis courts, and possibly a small airport. So I pushed the button.
Yes, sir. Can I be of service?
I want a house.
Well, yes, sir, but you really must be more specific. Do you want something classic, like a bungalow, ranch, split-level, mansion, castle, or palace? Or primitive, like an igloo or hut? Since you're an A, you could have something up to the minute, like a semi-face, an extended view, or a sunken miniature.
I don't know. What do you suggest?
A small mansion. They usually start with that.
They do?
Oh, yes. Later, they move to a warm climate and build a palace. Shall we start immediately?
Oh, yeah, sure. Fine. Start immediately. I wanted to ask a couple more questions, but I decided against it. Everything was going too smoothly. These people thought I was an A and the true owner of the utilizer. There wasn't any sense in disenchanting them. The rest of the day, I reclined on a couch and drank iced beverages while the Maxim Ulf Construction Company materialized the equipment and put up my house.
Well, now, there you are, sir. Modest, low-slung affair with 20 rooms. Built only of the best materials from the design of Meg of Degma. Interior by Toeg, Mueller swimming pool, and formal gardens by Varian. It's really the latest thing. With your permission, we'll include a complete layout on it in Galactic House and Gardens.
By evening, it was completed, and the small army of workmen packed up their equipment and then vanished. I allowed my chef to prepare a light supper for me, and afterwards I sat in my cool living room to think the whole thing over. In front of me, humming gently, sat the utilizer. I ordered cigars. Havana. I wonder what's behind it all. Of course, it can't be supernatural. There are no demons or devils in this. My house was built by regular, ordinary human beings. They swore and laughed and cursed like human beings. The utilizer was simply a scientific gadget, which worked on principles that I didn't understand or care to understand. Could it have come from another planet? Not likely. They wouldn't have learned English just for me. And so I decided that the utilizer must have come from the Earth's future. But how? Well, accidents will happen. Why couldn't the utilizer have just slipped back into the past and ended up in my room? What a wonderful future it must be. Wishing machines. How marvelously civilized. All a person has to do is think of something, presto, and there it is. Of course, I had to watch my step. There was still the owner and the rest of the A's. They'd probably try to take the machine away from me. A sudden movement caught my eye. I looked up. The utilizer was quivering. As I walked towards it, a faint mist of steam came out of it. Must be overheating, maybe a bucket of water. And then I noticed it was becoming smaller. It was no more than 2 feet square and shrinking before my eyes. The owner, perhaps the A's, are causing a micro-transfer that Leak had talked about. I had to do something quickly. I pushed the button. Leak Protection Service.
Well, now look here. I was on my way to the golf course. Must I be disturbed every
Do
time?
something. Look at it. It's shrinking. It's getting smaller. It's getting hot. Do something.
Well, there's nothing I can do. Temporal wall is all I'm licensed for. You want the micro-control people. Bye.
Wait a minute. Come back. It's getting hot. It's getting smaller. I'll press the button again. Micro-control.
With whom do you wish to make an appointment?
Get me help, fast. Look, the utilizer is growing smaller. They're micro-transferring it.
Well, Mr. Vernon is out to lunch. He's disowned himself. I can't reach him.
Well, who can you reach?
Well, Mr. Vierce is in the D continuum, and Mr. Elgis is doing field work in Paleontic Europe. If you're really in a rush, maybe transfer point control. They're a smaller unit.
All right. Transfer point control. Ow! That button's hot. I gotta push it. Gotta push that button. Transfer point control.
Well, what can I do for you? Just a minute. I'll take care of that. There you are. Got just in time, didn't I? Ain't fancy, but we're all reliable.
My hand, my finger, it's burned. Can you do something?
Who, me? Nope, not my department. Do one thing, do it well, I always say. Bye.
My finger, it's burned. Push the button again. Now fix me up. Fix my finger. Ah, that's better. Much better. The owner of the utilizer didn't try anything for at least a week. But I found that my mansion in the woods had been the wrong thing to do. I had to hire a platoon of guards to keep away sightseers, and hunters insisted on camping in my formal gardens. Also, the Bureau of Internal Revenue began to take a lively interest in my affairs. And so with the aid of the Power Vinyl Movers and the Maxima Oath Construction Company and the Jankston Instantaneous Travel Bureau, and a good deal of money placed in the proper hands, I moved to a small Central American republic. And there, since the climate was warmer and the income tax non-existent, I built a large, airy, ostentatious palace. It came equipped with the usual accessories: horses, dogs, peacocks, servants, musicians, bevies of dancing girls, and everything a palace should have. I spent 2 weeks just exploring the place. One morning, I went up to the utilizer with the vague intention of asking for a sports car, or perhaps a small herd of pedigreed cattle. But as I bent over the gray machine and reached for the red button... Hey, where you going? Hey, you can't move. You weigh a ton. Hold still so I can push the button. Hey, come back here. It's animation, that's what it is. Hey, come back here. I gotta push the button and get some kind of help. Hey, machine, stop. Back into the corner. There we go. There we are. Careful, can't let it get through the door. One side, a little dodge. There. Animation control. Wow, that was close. I can't take any more chances. I better do some big wishing now while I still have the chance. All right, pay attention here, machine. I'll have $5 million, 3 functioning oil wells, a motion picture studio, perfect health, 25 more dancing girls, immortality, a sports car, and a herd of pedigreed cattle. What is it? What happened? The utilizer. It's gone. Where is it? Wait a minute. What happened to me? I'm gone, too. Where am I?
Oh, it's perfectly all right, sir. You can open your eyes now.
Where am I? What happened? I was in my room. Where am I now? Where's the utilizer?
Oh, it's been returned to stock.
Wait a minute. You're the one that tried to come through the wall. You're the owner.
Won't you have a chair?
Well, I guess it's all over, isn't it? The A's finally caught me. Well, it was glorious while it lasted.
Cigarette?
No. Well, you got your machine back now. What else do you want?
My machine? Well, it's not my machine, sir. Not at all.
Oh, don't try to kid me, mister. You A ratings want to protect your monopoly, don't you?
My name is Flynn. I'm an agent for the Citizens Protective Union, a non-profit organization whose aim is to protect individuals such as yourself from errors of judgment.
You mean you're not one of the A's?
Well, you're laboring under a misapprehension, sir. The A rating does not represent a social group as you seem to believe.
You mean it's not an aristocracy, a hereditary...
Oh, goodness, no. An A rating is merely a credit rating.
A what?
A credit rating. Well, now, you haven't got much time, so I'll make this as brief as possible here. You're quite correct, sir, that this is the future, as you put it. Ours is a decentralized age, sir. Our businesses, industries, and services are scattered throughout an appreciable portion of space and time. Now, the utilization corporation that produces the utilizer is an essential link. It provides for the transfer of goods and services from point to point. Do you understand?
Well, yeah. I get it.
Well, credit, of course, is an automatic privilege. But eventually, everything must be paid for.
Paid for? Hey, nobody said anything about paying. What are you talking about?
Well, now, of course, you certainly couldn't have expected to be provided with all these services without paying.
Well, why didn't somebody stop me? They must have known I didn't have a proper rating.
Oh, credit ratings are suggestions, not laws. In a civilized world, an individual has the right to his own decision. I'm very sorry, sir. Now, would you care to look at this bill and tell me whether it's in order?
Bill? What bill?
For all the services that you ordered from the utilizer. There they are. There's one palace with accessories, credit $450 million. Services Maxima Alt Movers, 111,000 credits. 122 dancing girls, 1,222,000. Perfect Health, 8,882,422. Well, there's a whole list of them here. The total comes to slightly less than 18 million credits.
Hey, wait a minute. I can't be held to this. The utilizer just dropped into my room by accident.
Well, that's the very fact I'm going to bring to their attention.
What's going to happen to me?
Oh, it's already happened. You've been adjudged through bankruptcy court. Good luck. Goodbye.
What? Where am I? What happened? Where is this place?
All right, buddy, on your feet.
Who are you?
On your feet, Mac. Here, take this.
What is it?
It's a pick. And over there is a quarry where you and I and a couple of others are going to cut marble.
Marble?
Sure. There's always some idiot who wants a palace. You better get working now, boy. They'll hand you a touch of that electronic whip.
What do you mean?
You'll find out. You can call me Jang. We'll be together for some time.
How long?
You work it out. The rate is 50 credits a month until your debt is paid off.
They can't do this to me. It's all a mistake. It was their fault they left the machine. They let it slip into the past. It's all a mistake.
It's no mistake. They're short of labor. They don't want to go recruiting all over for it. Come on. After the first 1,000 years, you won't mind it.
The first 1,000 years? I won't live that long.
Sure you will. You got immortality, didn't you?
Oh, that's right. That's right. I wished for it just before they took back the machine.
Sure you did.
Hey, wait a minute. That bill that Flynn showed me. I didn't see immortality on that bill. How much did they charge me for immortality?
Oh, don't be naive, pal. You should have figured it out by now. Naturally, they give that away for nothing. Now grab your pick. Let's go.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Founding Father by Clifford D. Simak, the story of a man whose job was to be first in the hearts of his countrymen, if he ever managed to find them. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, X-1 has brought you Something for Nothing, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Robert Sheckley and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in our cast were Joseph Julian as Joe, with Danny Acco, Jock McGregor, John Gibson, Wendell Holmes, Ralph Bell, and Karen Ford. Fred Collins speaking. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Scanning the globe ever watchful, the NBC Radio News Department maintains a 24-hour vigil on the world. From the UN, from Washington, from the Middle East, NBC Radio newsmen are on the beam, reporting the news from where it happens, as it happens. Every minute of the day, news streams into the NBC newsroom, is sifted and evaluated. Every 60 minutes, the most important stories are broadcast to you by top commentators like Chet Huntley, David Brinkley, and Alex Dreyer on News on the Hour. And when the hot stories break, you get them in a flash on Hotline. It's like having a seat in the NBC Radio newsroom. Listen for News on the Hour and the exclusive Hotline service all day, every day on most of these stations.
At last, Johnson on the Gregory boat is nearing the Magic Island. But Johnson will arrive at the island as a prisoner and not a rescuer. Jerry and Joan were ordered to go in the Euclidean submarine and aid in the capture of Johnson's boat, while the captain and Mrs. Gregory have seen and heard all that took place in the submarine through the wonderful prism reflectors in G-47's control chambers. The submarine is towing the Johnson boat, which has run out of fuel. They are only a few miles from Euclidia, the Magic Island. Mrs. Gregory and Captain Bradford are now back on their captive yacht, inside a lock in the submerged island. The alarm gong on the island has been ringing, and Mrs. Gregory and Tex are trying to learn the meaning of the signals.
There it is again, Tex. The same signal we heard before.
Yes, Pat, but the last time we heard it meant to standby stations. Then they submerged this island.
Well?
The island's all the way down now. The surface of it is 40 feet below the water level. They can't submerge it anymore.
Just the same, there's the signal. Oh, Tex, I'm getting so worried down here in this dark lock. It was better in G-47's control room. At least we could see and hear what was going on. And we knew that Joan and Jerry were all right in that submarine.
Jerry and Joan are all right, whether we watch them or not.
Is this radio all right now?
It works fairly well, but it wouldn't be a good idea for us to try sending with it.
I didn't mean that, Tex. Just so it works well enough that we can hear Johnson if he talks to Jerry in the submarine.
Poor Johnson. I'll bet his face was a study when that sub picked up his bow anchor with a magnet and started to tow him to this island.
Doesn't it seem strange to you that Johnson hasn't sent any message since that?
I don't think so. There's nothing for him to send one about. It's just the end of a good try on his part, and he's failed. I imagine he doesn't feel a whole lot like talking to anyone.
Tex, 4 strokes of the alarm gong. That should mean the 4th level. The island's going up again.
I think you're right, Pat. That must mean that the battleships are all safely out of the way. Johnson's boat is near enough that they're getting the island out of the water so the submarine can land the captive boat at one of the piers.
Then Joan and Jerry will be back with us again. I won't care much what happens if I can only keep them near me all the time.
Yes, and once I get Johnson on this island with the materials he has on that boat, it shouldn't take us long to figure a way out of this.
But G-47 will take the materials away from you the minute the boat lands.
Oh, will you quit worrying so much, Pat? We'll get off this island if it takes a year. Now, just try to take it easy and leave the rest to me.
The third level, Tex. We're really going to get up out of this awful dark at last.
Looks like it. I hope they let us take the yacht back out into the open water between the piers again. I don't like this living in a hole underwater myself.
That's right. G47 may not want the yacht outside again.
I don't think he'll object to that. Doesn't look much like we'd run away with a broken mast and these smashed cabin roofs.
And will we be allowed to remain on the yacht?
G47 said we could. He hasn't room for us to live on the island and no time to build quarters for us.
Remember that the aerial is broken, and when the anchor leaves the floor of this steel lock, the radio won't work anymore.
Well, just as soon as we get outside in the open air again, I'll fix up an aerial fast enough. Second level, huh? Things sure move on this island.
Only another minute or two, and the top of the island will be out of the water.
Yes, and if we don't hear from G47 pretty soon about getting this yacht out of this lock, I'll go and ask him.
And that's probably G47 now.
I suppose it is. Come in.
Oh, well, Skipper, come in.
And close the door. Island. What about the island? Rising.
Yes, Skipper, we know. The island will soon be out of the water.
Have you heard whether we're to be allowed to take the yacht out of this lot?
Yep.
We are to be allowed to take it out?
Aye.
How did you find out this?
The first level. Then the steel control chambers on the surface are coming out of the water now. We'll soon be out.
Aye. Did G47 tell you we could take the yacht back out?
Yep.
Has he been down here on this boat talking to you?
Aye.
Funny he didn't call on us, isn't it, Tex?
Will.
He's on the boat now?
Aye.
Well, what's he doing here?
Looking.
Looking at what, Skipper?
Anchor.
What's he looking at our anchor for?
Radio.
Oh, of course, Tex. He's figured out that the broken aerial wires mixed up in the anchor chain have given us a good aerial.
Yeah, and he's probably doing something to it right now, so it won't be any good. Send him in here, Skipper, will you?
Aye.
And don't tell him you've told us he's on board.
Aye.
So, the old boy's been sneaking around out there on the deck looking things over.
I wouldn't worry too much about that, Tex. He told the skipper we could take the yacht out and anchor it in open water again.
Well, I hope it's right away, then. I've got a notion something's going to happen before very long.
This will be G47.
Yeah. Come in.
Oh, G47. Come in, won't you?
Oh, thank you.
We've been wondering if you wouldn't pay us a visit before long. The island seems to be rising again, and we'd like to take the yacht back outdoors, if you don't mind.
Oh, you will be allowed to take the yacht out again. It will make Mr. Johnson feel more at home to be welcomed by his friends.
Yeah, some welcome. One prisoner welcoming another to jail.
Never mind that now, Tex. Will Johnson's boat be brought in at Pier 5? Will it lie near us?
I think that will be advisable. Then, when the time comes for the destruction of these boats, it will be simpler if they are in contiguous slips.
Destroy them?
Steady, Pat. I expected that remark.
The lock gates are opening now, if you care to listen.
Oh, Tex, listen. The gates are open. The water levels and the locks are evening up.
Sounds good to me. I've had enough of this dark lock.
Tex, look, the portholes. You can see the daylight even back here in this lock.
Now, the magnets are beginning to actuate this craft. We will soon be in the outer slip.
J12C, Jerry Hall on Euclidean submarine to J12C. Hello, J12C. Hello, Johnson.
There's Jerry in the cell.
Oh, it's good to hear him again.
Silence. We must hear this.
Hello, Johnson. Hello. Calling J12C. What's the matter, Johnson? We have not been able to raise your boat since we started towing you. Have important orders for landing your boat at Euclidia when we cut loose our magnets at the island.
Advised Johnson, there is every possibility his boat will be wrecked on the island if he does not acknowledge and carry out these special orders.
J12C. Hello, J12C. This is emergent. Answer at once.
Will this transmitter work, Captain?
It will if your magnetic ring doesn't stop the beam.
It will not. Break Hall at once. Try to speak Johnson. Hurry. The time is precious.
Right. Break it, Hall. Break it, Jerry. Bradford on J24Y, calling Johnson on J12C. Let me have it, Jerry. I will now send from the yacht to Johnson. Special orders. G47 on board yacht. Let me have it, Jerry.
Okay, Tex. Hello to yacht. All okay here. Go ahead, Tex. I can't raise Johnson. Go ahead.
Thanks, Jerry. Hello, Johnson. Bradford to J12C. Hello, J12C.
Something must have happened to Johnson's radio.
You will continue, Captain.
Right. J24Y to Johnson on J12C. Hello, Johnson. This is important. Can you hear me? Your boat is in danger of being wrecked against a steel artificial island, unless you talk to the commander of the submarine who is towing you. Get her instructions before she casts your anchor off her magnetic towing fin. J12C, calling J12C.
What can be the matter, Tex?
Hello, Bradford.
Oh.
Hello. Can you get me?
Oh, Tex, it's all right.
Hey, Tex. I got Johnson here. Can you hear him?
Yes, I got him, kid. Let me have the channel now. Hello, Johnson. Getting you fine. What happened? No message from you for so long.
Sorry, Captain. My set has been dead. Was not advised we would be towed by magnets, and they paralyzed the set. When I heard the word magnet very faintly, I set about making a crude shield for the set. Okay now. What's the order?
Tell him to take his orders from the commander of the submarine.
Hello, Jerry. J24Y to Jerry Hall on submarine. Hello, Sub.
Okay, Tex. Go ahead.
G47 authorizes me to tell you commander of sub is to give orders directly to Johnson. That all, G47?
Have the commander advise me speed and distance from island.
Commander, Bradford to S1.
Yes, proceed, Captain Bradford.
Will you give orders to Johnson, then report to G47 on your position and speed?
Very good. S1 to Johnson. S1 calling J12C.
Go ahead, S1. Johnson on J12C. Ready, S1. Go ahead.
We are 15 knots from island. Stand by when within 1 knot of island. I will cut magnets off. You will be released directly opposite opening in the slip you are to use. Have you auxiliary power on board to take yourself in? Last few hundred yards. Reply.
Johnson to submarine commander. Have small electric motor. Should be good for 2 miles or more. Uncharged. Now in batteries. What about this island slip? Have received some wild messages supposedly from there. Is island surrounded by fog ring? Will I need pilot?
No, your power will be clear. That is all, Johnson. G47. Commander S1 to G47.
Proceed, Commander.
Making 10 knots. Position due north of island. 28 degrees, 45 minutes south. Should be at Pier 5 in 90 minutes. Orders?
No orders. Proceed as you are. Your instructions to Johnson, excellent. That is all.
Very good.
Just an hour and a half and Johnson will be here. I'm glad to see him even if he can't help us. And I'll be more than glad to get Jerry and Joan out of that submarine.
Oh, that'll help a lot.
You may expect me again when the boat is near. You may now use your radio as much as you care to.
Tex, look, that sunshine. Let's go out on deck.
Right, dear. Come on. A little daylight won't do me any harm.
Oh, this is glorious. I've never appreciated the light as I do this minute.
Shows up that broken mast and the shattered cabin pretty badly, though. Say, that little pigeon was in his coat when the mast fell.
Oh, I wonder if he's hurt.
We'll know in a minute. Pat, come here. Look in the coat, quick.
Oh, Tex, the little bird isn't hurt, is it?
No, but Pat, look.
Tex, another pigeon in there, with a message tied to him. He must have arrived the instant the yacht came out.
Yes, and that's one of the pigeons from Johnson's boat. We've still got a chance, Pat. There'll be something in that message we can use before Johnson's boat is brought in here.
The Magic Island is once more visible above the surface of the sea. That is, it's visible when the ring of magnetic fog is not surrounding it. The Euclidean submarine has brought the captured rescue boat with Johnson and the crew helpless on board to within a short distance of the island. Captain Tex Bradford and Mrs. Gregory are anxiously awaiting the arrival of Johnson's boat. as they know something about Johnson which no one else knows. They received a message by homing pigeon just before the submarine arrived with Johnson's boat in tow. Jerry and Joan are talking in the submarine as it prepares to cast off Johnson's boat.
Oh, boy. We're nearly back to the island, Joan.
Yes, Jerry. And when we do get back, your Mr. Johnson will be a prisoner, and my mother's other boat will be tied up to the island just as useless as her yacht is now.
I know all that, but this fellow Johnson's plenty smart, and he might have a trick or two up his sleeve that the Euclideans don't know anything about.
I can think of nothing favorable now.
Well, for one thing, remember what I told you about this woman commander on the submarine? She'll be on our side if she sees a chance to get to the world with us.
Now, Jerry, that is silly. Just because she was interested in hearing about my mother's beautiful clothing and some of the things in your world, that does not mean
It means that she's willing to listen when I talk about how swell our world is. And if she listens long enough, and if she'll only come out and meet your mother, it's in the bag.
In the bag? What is in what bag?
I mean, it's signed, sealed, and delivered. Your name on the dotted line. Oh, well, never mind. I'll tell you some other time.
It would be well to postpone any further discussion of your commander until she is unable to hear you.
Gee whiz. I forget about that blamed speaker thing all over the submarine.
You forget so many things, Jerry.
Precisely. Now, Hall, you will maintain silence during the next operation. Absolute silence.
Yes'm. Very good, Commander.
SE-1.
Yes, Commander.
Drop the charge in the stern magnetic fin. Release the anchor of that boat immediately.
Right. Release anchor.
Well done. Set your course in a small circle. Cut speed to 3 knots. We will circle and escort this boat to Pier 5.
Speed now 3 knots. Circle with a radius of 100 yards.
Correct. Distance from island?
500 yards.
Approximately?
No, exactly 500 yards at point drop anchor tow.
Excellent. Continue circle to position paralleling port side of boat. Lay to at his speed. Conduct him to starboard slip, Pier 5.
Very good.
S1 to G47. Commander S1 to G47. Reporting submarine ES1.
All those letters make me hungry for some alphabet soup.
Oh, Jerry, you must be quiet.
G47 receiving your report, S1. Proceed.
Drop anchor tow 500 yards due north of Pier 5. Johnson boat will use small motor and interslip under his own power. Think not advisable to take the ES1 into Pier 5 slip with Gregory yacht there now. We are just completing circle to pick up boat and convoy it to Pier 5. We'll then proceed to dock ES1 in regular submarine berth number 6. That is all. S1 to G47.
Well executed, SE1. Report immediately upon arrival. That is all. G47 to S1.
You, Hall, and you, Cleoster, maintain your positions in the stern section. I will join you for special orders regarding your actions when we arrive at the island.
Look, Joan. She's turned off the speaker gadget so we can't be heard all over the boat.
What can that be for, Jerry?
She's going to tell us something she don't want old Stoneface up there to hear.
Oh, Jerry, that ridiculous idea of yours that the commander is friendly to us will get us into very serious trouble if you're not careful.
Well, leave it to me, Joan. I'll fix it.
Fix it? Is something broken, Jerry?
Look, I'll sell her the idea. Put over the deal. Oh, forget it. Just listen and you'll get the idea.
Even though I made it possible for you to talk in comparative comfort, Hall, it should not be necessary for you to shout.
I'm sorry. Golly whiskers.
Jerry, the commander will not know what you mean by that terrible slang.
You are right in a measure, Cleostra. To understand the gibbering sounds which Hall uses as a method of expression, one would of necessity revert to the educational standard of the Stone Age. But the forceful gestures and grotesque manipulations of the facial muscles which accompany his outburst reveal his meaning quite plainly.
I get it. The words are too much for you, but the music strikes a responsive chord.
You see, Commander, Jerry does know how to use big words when he wants to.
A more frequent desire would do him credit.
Well, look, Commander, I don't want to break up your class, and if you feel like having some fun with me, when I'm stuck where I can't help myself, okay. But if you've got those special orders you were talking about, we'd better get them before we hit the island.
Jerry, you should not suggest the commander's procedure.
It is quite all right, Cleostra. I have no orders to give either of you, but I have a few words of advice which you would do well to follow.
Oh, sure. Advice is what we want plenty of. What's on your mind?
Jerry means, to what advice did you have reference?
I had made the translation myself, Cleostra. And the more I hear of this young man's free manner of speaking and his obvious ignorance, the greater is my curiosity to learn something further of the world outside.
See? What did I tell you, Joan? What did I tell you?
Now, Jerry, please.
Well, Cleostra, what did he tell you?
I think it would not be wise to repeat it.
Very well. You tell me, Hall.
Well, gee, to come right out and tell you, it's not so easy, but I'll try.
Please do not, Jerry.
Silence, Cleostra. You may proceed, Hall.
Well, I guess this puts me in plenty bad if I'm wrong, but I got it figured that you're on our side.
I am not sure I follow you.
I mean that you're not so crazy about all this Euclidean stuff, acting like a bunch of machines and talking about going out and conquering the world. A beautiful girl like you, commanding the submarine, thinking of going across the ocean one of these days and blowing up somebody's country. Why, you ought to be like girls back home, going out to dances and parties and seeing shows and, well, all those things. I'm going to teach Joan how to do all of them when we get back to the world.
Jerry, you have made the commander very angry.
Oh, I can't help it. I had a hunch to say it, and I said it.
No, I am not angry. All my life I have been taught the stupidity of you worldlings and the brilliance of we Euclideans. Yet you are happy. You see pleasures and recreations worth living for. You feel the desire to live, even though... No, enough of this. You will forget that it has been said. Your lives depend upon your silence. Make no mistake about that.
Oh, yes, Commander. It is forgotten.
Yes, Commander. It's forgotten.
That is well. Now I return to my duties. The speakers will be turned on. You will preserve silence as we land this boat. And you will preserve silence in all matters.
You see, Jerry, it did no good. And now I feel that we have a definite enemy in the commander.
Well, don't you believe it. She told us to forget what we talked about. Swell, we'll forget it. But she won't.
Be quiet, Jerry. The tubes are beginning to glow in the central control section. The speakers are active.
Okay, but don't forget I told you so when we get a break from the girlfriend.
Position and speed, SE1.
Speed 2 knots, 125 yards due north, and Pier 5.
Good. Stop all power. Lay 2. Allow boat to proceed slip 5 under own power. You, Hall, will come forward to my control section. Cleostra, you may come also. Hurry, Hall.
Coming up. Come on, Joan. Snap into it.
What do you think the commander wants, Jerry?
Well, we'll find out in a minute.
You will sit here before the microphone, Hall. You there, Cleostra. I am going to give Johnson his exact orders regarding his landing. Also advise Captain Bradford on the yacht. It will be well to make the Johnson boat fast to the yacht. You will stand by, Hall, in the event that either Johnson or Bradford want confirmation from you.
Okay, go to it. Yes, Commander.
You are learning. Remember, silence when the red tube glows. You will call Johnson at once. Advise him to lay his boat in close to the yacht. They will be lashed together at once. That will provide for taking them both into the submarine lock in one movement in the event of another emergency.
Boy, you sure think, Commander.
Naturally. All Euclideans think. Immediately you advise Johnson, you will call Captain Bradford. Give him the same instructions regarding the disposition of Johnson's boat. Tell him to stand by to lash the boats together. That is all, Hall. Silence, Cleostra. Proceed.
J-12C. Jerry Hall on submarine to J-12C. Hello, Johnson. Hello, J-12. Emergency orders for you. Hello, J-12C. Orders from the submarine commander. Hello, Johnson. Hello.
It is possible he is saving his power to carry him into the anchorage. Raise Bradford. Give him the orders. He will be able to signal Johnson in ample time to warp the boat in properly.
Right. Jerry Hall to J-24Y. Hello, Tex. Hall to Bradford. Can you get me? Answer quick.
Yes, Jerry, I got it. Where'd you signal to Johnson? What are your orders about landing the boat? I'll take them here. See the boat plainly now through the aft port in this cabin. I've been more than a minute or two before he will come in between the piers. Shoot it, kid.
Signal Johnson to come in hard against your starboard rail. Lash the two boats together immediately. Orders from the commander on this sub. Got it?
Yes, bring Johnson against starboard rail and make fast at once. Got it, Jerry. Are you coming in at once?
How about it, Commander?
If G47 has no other plans for you, you may report to Bradford when we dock.
The skipper... Oh, excuse me, Commander. The skipper says if G47 says okay, Joan and I can report to you as soon as we dock this sinking cigar.
Okay, son. I've got some news for you. Hurry it up. I'll run out on deck to handle Johnson's boat now.
Oh, I guess that's all, isn't it, Commander?
Very well done, Hall. I will take over. S1 to G47. Commander S1 reporting the ES1.
Unnecessary. Heard your orders to Bradford. Johnson boat is safely within reach of island magnets. Proceed to your lock. Report to me at once. That is all.
Very well, G47. That is all. S1.
Gee, it's all over. In just a minute or two, those island magnets will pull Johnson's boat into the slip. Tex will make it fast to the yacht and... Oh, gee. I guess that's about the end of all our plans.
One moment, Hall. SE1.
Yes, Commander.
Full power tubes on. Proceed to lock at once.
Right. Power on. Proceed to lock.
Right. You will dock the ES1 on arrival. That is all.
Oh, Jerry, we're going to see Mother and the captain in a few minutes.
Yeah, and the captain said he had some news for us. I wonder what it could be.
I think I could tell you the news the captain has for you.
You could?
Yes, I am sure I could. And it is news that will shake the island of Euclidia when it reaches the attention of G47.
What is it, Commander?
I will not tell you.
But you said you could.
Precisely. I could, but I will not.
An adventure of the mind. We don't know very much about the mind, a lot less than the psychologists pretend they do. In particular, we know very little about those peculiar qualities of mind that have made it possible for some individuals to see things at a great distance, either in space or in time. But these incidents have happened.
Our father's room, Captain Thompson. Just make yourself comfortable.
You let me know.
Of course, the minute there's any news. Now, don't worry. Your wife will be fine. Would you like a cup of coffee, Captain? You look rather worn out.
No, thanks. Yes, I would like a cup, thanks. I haven't had time to eat since yesterday.
Oh, just sit down and I'll be right back with one.
You do look bleached, huh? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see the glare from that lamp.
First kid?
Yes.
Oh, well, you have three of them like I have.
I was out at the base, started for town here as soon as she phoned. She was leaving for the hospital, but it still takes 40 minutes to get in.
You part of that rocket business?
The space medicine experimental.
See, is that where they're using you guys as guinea pigs? I read they were even trying telepathy.
I'm sorry, I can't talk about it.
Oh, but I read it in the paper.
No, I'm sorry, I still can't talk about it. Doesn't that doctor have anything to do but stand around and wait? I'm going to talk to him.
Oh, relax, you can't do anything. Here, the doctors can do something, even the nurses can do something. Fathers can't do anything. You might as well get used to it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Why don't you try to get some sleep? Close your eyes and lean back. Might be hours yet.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Oh. It's good to have my eyes closed. 28 hours. Tension, emotion. New technique.
Here's a nice hot cup of coffee for you, Captain.
Oh, he's conked out already. Maybe you just better let him sleep.
No mental barrier. Future.
He seems to be dreaming. I never saw a man look so worn out.
Go back into the woods.
No point in waking him.
No, leave him be.
Get the kids and the old people back. You hear me? Over there. Get them back. Back.
Over there by that brush pile. I seen him go down. There. Why that tree? Thompson. Holly, you hit, boy.
What?
It's me, Clanton, and Diego. Don't you know us? Hey, look what his forehead, Diego. He must have run spank into a tree limb.
Where am I? What's going on?
Oh, he really gave himself a knock. Hey, come on. Hey, let's move the woods again. We gotta get out of here. You got hard, Diego. Them bugs will be in here in 15 minutes.
What?
You just heard us hurry up and go. There'll be no time to talk now. Pretty good, huh? We all just sort of stumbled onto it.
Sit down, Harvey. I'll bandage that head of yours while we talk. Clanton, tell her about your end of it first.
Well, I left you with your covering guard. Moved the rest all back through the brush, Harvey. We didn't have a bit of trouble at all. When I got the men flung around this spot here, and it's a natural for defense, Harvey. This tree's so thick you can't see through them unless they come over a treetop height. Then I went back to see about you and the boys, and I met Corshank and Swenson. They told me Talbot and Guido was burned, and you was lost.
You came for me?
Diego, he was still there looking around for you. I just helped him, that's all. And just as we found you, a patrol of the bugs came along the road there, at the edge of the woods, shooting into it. You know how to do. Oh, hold still. Anyhow, we set up camp here. No, we're a bit too far back in, safe enough for an hour or two.
There, that fixes you. Now, about my end of it, Harvey. I had the women, children, the old people rounded up before the patrol that spotted us hit. I don't think the Kinoids even had a chance to count us. I don't think they even guessed us to be a party as large as we are. After all, they've cleaned up everything but a few stragglers south of the Great Lakes and west of Denver. Anyway, I got them all back through the woods, and I've set up a separate camp for them about 500 yards back in. Your dad was a big help, by the way. He practically carried your wife most of the trip. I'm afraid it was maybe too much for him.
My wife?
Now, sit where you are. You can't do anything about her anyway. There's no reason to expect complications. She had your first son without trouble, didn't she?
Yeah, but that was in the hospital.
Will you forget your wife for 5 minutes? There's 238 other people here who need you right now. I was getting my report.
Go on.
It's better. Now, the old people are tired, and so are the kids. But the kids will recover. We've got straight woods behind us, and there's about a 4-day supply of food left. The question is, can we make the Quetico in that time?
My men can get along right well on half rations.
Fighting and night marching all the way? And what about my bunch? The young women and the older kids will be all right. The younger kids we can take turns carrying, but the older men and women...
Maybe they won't chase us clear to where the old Canadian border used to be. We hit thick brush before that.
You know they will. We have to go deep into the north woods or they'll follow us. That's what's behind this whole Kinoid offensive. They've got to exterminate us inside of the next few years, or their own mutated virus diseases will win the war for us. Half the last few Kinoids have been sick and dying.
I wish I was sure that is you are, Maria.
Well, if I'm not sure, it doesn't matter. Here's a map. Now, here we are now, Harvey. 60 miles from the border.
Yes, I see. Well, what do you want me to do?
Do? Are you sick, Harvey? You're in command of this group. Or did that hit on the head knock your brain completely silly? You ought to tell us what to do, Clanton and me with our groups.
But it must be my head. I don't seem to remember. If you could just let me think for a while.
Think? We've got 2 hours until sundown. And if you want to survive, we've got to head for the border tonight. Are you telling us you aren't fit to command this bunch of ours?
I'm sorry.
All right. You better take over, Clanton.
Why not you?
You know I can't handle the men. Well, we'll get your group and my group moving as fast as the sun's down. They've all been fed. But Harvey, whatever's wrong with you, you better get over it quick. Because there's 239 people here who'll never reach Quetico without you in charge.
I promise you that. I wish we could move the group by road or across farmland.
Well, why not?
Why not? You want the Kinoids to spot us.
Maria, what are the Kinoids?
You know, I do believe you mean that.
I do.
I never heard of amnesia like this before. Look, you know you're Harvey Thompson, don't you?
Yes.
And you know we're in what used to be Minnesota, heading north on foot toward the Quetico Superior National Forest on the Canadian border, don't you?
Yes, yes.
But you don't know the Kinoids spotted our first attempts at space flight and moved in to wipe us out.
No. But why did they?
Why, they're from Alpha Centauri, the nearest sun with inhabitable planets by our standards. We'd have headed there next.
Well, couldn't anyone explain to them that we wouldn't take their world?
Wouldn't we? What makes you so sure? Anyway, this is the way it worked out. Now, if little groups like ours can survive long enough, the Kinoids will be decimated by their own mutated diseases. They'll have to pull back. We can build again and then go after them.
Are they really bugs?
Oh, it's just a name some soldiers gave them. No, they're almost human, but not quite. Now do you remember?
I don't know.
Harvey, I shouldn't tell you this, but I'm fond enough of you to want you whole and sensible again for your own sake, aside from...
Aside from what, Maria?
Aside from the fact that there's only one man in this group that all the rest will obey without question, and that's you. So far, Clanton and I haven't told anyone that you aren't still giving the orders. Now think about that, Harvey. Because if you can't pull us through to safety, nobody can. Remember that.
Oh, Maria, where's my wife? I haven't had a chance to see her.
No time for that now. Clanton just came in. We're all ready for that council that you called.
Council?
Come along. These people can't know yet you're not directing them.
Ready and willing, Maria.
Sit down, Harvey. How are the men, Clanton?
Worn out. How are the non-combatants?
Too tired to eat breakfast, most of them. I've left orders for them all to get something in them before they try to sleep. Your wife and son are fine, Harvey. She walked part way and rode in the litter when she got tired. Your father is in much worse shape. He'll insist on helping her.
Scouts are back in. Got a little stretch of open territory ahead. No way to avoid it.
Kinoids waiting for us?
That's right. About a patrol. They couldn't have figured we'd come this way or there'd be more. As it is, we got to get through them fast. They'll be calling for help.
How fast?
You ready to take over, Harvey?
I just wondered, how fast?
15 minutes, if we're lucky. And there's 300 yards of open to cross.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're in thick brush for at least 10 miles.
Well, it's best, I suppose, to hit them at twilight. They won't come after us in the dark?
Not in the brush. Not even with air sport.
What's the ground like?
Give me this stick here. The woods judge out like this, and it's meadow both sides. From this point to where they're sitting.
What's that drumming mean?
Nothing. They do that morning, noon, and evening. When there's nothing else to do.
What's the position?
I got them laid out in the grass in a half circle, like you said. Halfway clear around them bugs.
All right, give me the whistle. Close with them! Close with them! Use your knife!
Yes. Clanton, would you mind letting us talk by ourselves for a minute? I want a private word with Harvey.
All right with me.
What is it?
You have to move the group right away?
Yes, why?
Some of mine can't.
Well, how bad are they?
Pretty bad. They need a day or two of complete rest. Right now.
We can't wait, Maria. We just can't.
That's what I was afraid of.
The Kinoids will be right at our backs at dawn. If they can keep after us and harry us, they'll wear us all down eventually. And we can't go on fighting for every little clearing. We've got to lose them now. But who is it? Which ones can't go on? not the children, not my boy.
No, not your wife or your boy or any of that group. They've all been worn down by this march, but they're young enough to bounce back. It's the old people that don't.
The old?
Yes. We've got 10 older women, 3 older men, including your father, Harvey. They can't go any farther.
Well, not Dad. Well, he's in good shape for his age.
That's just it. For his age. Under ordinary conditions, you don't notice how quickly an old person tires because they're always catching little rests. On a march like this, though...
We can't just leave them. We can't... I'm sorry, Harvey.
Their lives or the rest of the group. And you're in command.
But the Kinoids would find them before noon tomorrow, and old people with nothing to defend themselves with. The older people have sons and daughters in the group, too. They'd never stand for abandoning their parents.
It's up to you. Harvey, I'm sorry. If you want me, I'll be over there with Clancy.
No, I can't. It'll be kinder to kill them ourselves and to let the Kinoids... Dad, how can I?
Wake up! Captain Thompson, wake up!
Huh? What's that?
You've been sleeping. You were having some nightmare there.
Oh. What is it, nurse?
A boy, Captain Thompson. You're the father of a boy.
Oh. I have to carry him. Oh, that's the older one. He's all right. Pardon me, I'm still groggy, I guess. A boy. Where is he? How's my wife?
Oh, your wife's just fine. She's still in recovery, and you can talk to her in a few minutes.
Oh, good.
Your son's in an incubator. He's just a little bit lightweight. You can see him in a minute, too. And
Good.
the doctor will talk to you shortly, but will you come down the hall right now, and we'll get the birth certificate filled out?
Oh, sure.
You can sit right there, Captain Thompson, on the side of the desk. Now, what name have you and your wife picked out for your son?
Name? Let's see. Oh, yes, Harvey. Harvey Walter Thompson, Jr.
Harvey Walter... Captain Thompson?
Yes?
Well, Captain Thompson, of course we'll put down whatever you want, but I notice on the admittance slip here your wife's name's down as Mrs. John W. Thompson. Your name is...
John, that can't be right. Now, Harvey was my wife's choice. She had the name all... My name is John.
Well, yes, that's what we have down here on the admittance slip.
My son's name is Harvey.
Just plain Harvey Walter Thompson, no junior. It's easy to be confused. You'd be surprised at some of the fathers. Captain Thompson, are you all right?
All right. I'm all right.
Well, then if you'll sign here.
Yes.
And now it's official. You've got a son to take care of you in your old age, Captain Thompson.
Yes. To make the decision.
Men first, scientists later. The fact of being a man means that they have human emotions, human needs, wills, desires. It's hard for a scientist, as it is for any other man, to see his whole life orientations, his deepest beliefs, knocked flat. When Einstein's theories of relativity were first established, there was one of the major astrophysicists who committed suicide. All he believed had been demolished. Are our scientists to be expected to be any more able to take the shattering blow that the reality of clairvoyance would mean than the other people of our society? There have been incidents, but the scientists don't like them. I don't think any of us do. But they're there.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, it's a bird.
It's a plane. It's Superman. And now, Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with physical powers far beyond those of ordinary men, and who fights a never-ending battle against crime and injustice, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper. Assigned to the job of interviewing Sidney Rycroft, British explorer, who had come to America on a lecture tour, Clark Kent discovered the explorer to be a woman, not a man as he had thought. Miss Rycroft invited Kent and Jimmy to the theater that night to see the performance of a magician named Gambini. As his performance drew to a close, Gambini invited Miss Rycroft to come up on the stage and help him perform a trick of illusion. Placing her in a box, he sealed it and then caused it to disappear. Then, to the astonishment of Kent and Jimmy, Gambini said goodnight and walked off the stage without bringing back the vanished Miss Rycroft. If we join them now, Kent and Jimmy are on their way backstage to see what happened to Miss Rycroft and Gambini. Listen.
I should be sure other ones for getting into trouble. All we do is go up to see a Sidney Rycroft, a British explorer, to interview him for the paper. First of all, Sidney Rycroft turns out to be a woman, and then we discover that she's being pursued by some Egyptian fanatics.
Fanatics, Jimmy.
Egyptian fanatics, because she broke the seal of the tomb of Osiris. And now a magician makes her disappear and doesn't bring her back again. Gosh, I wish I was Superman or somebody like that, so I could keep up with all these things that happen to us.
You're doing all right. Well, here's the street. We'll go around to the stage door.
Okay. Gee, I don't know what you're hurrying for, Mr. Kent. Even if the great Gambini wanted to get away, he wouldn't be able to do it this quickly.
I'm just not taking any chances, Jim. Here's the stage door. Now to find out if my hunch about Miss Rycroft is right or not. The door seems to be locked. Well, we'll knock.
Funny. Nobody answers.
We'll just keep knocking till someone does answer. I certainly can't understand this. Stage doors are usually open and you don't have to...
Wait. The door's opening. Look. There's an old man standing there.
Yes? What do you want?
I want to see the great Gambini.
Who'd you say?
The great Gambini. The magician who played here tonight.
Just a minute, young fella. This is some kind of a joke.
I don't see anything funny about it. I want to see
the great Gambini. Yes, I know. I don't know who's kidding you, young fella. In case you don't know it, I'm telling you now. The great Gambini hasn't played this theater in 10 years.
What's he saying?
Last time the great Gambini played here was back in 1924, 25 thereabouts. Matter of fact, we ain't had a performance in this theater for nigh on 2 years.
Oh, you're out of your mind. Well, we just this minute saw the wind-up of his performance inside the theater.
Yeah, he put a friend of ours in a box, Miss Rycroft. Made her disappear, but he didn't make her come back again.
Yes, of course. Well, you'll probably find her on the move. Good night, dear.
Now, wait a minute. Not so fast.
Stop holding that door.
The great Gambini is inside there, and I'm going to see him. Now, get out of my way. Come on, Jim.
Oh, mackerel, Mr. Kent. There's the dust in here. This place looks as if it hasn't been used in years.
Well, what have I been telling you? This theater has been closed for 2 years almost.
It looks like it, all right. Dust on these floors is an inch thick. Cobwebs all over the place.
Mr. Kent, are we going crazy? We did see the great Gambini, didn't we?
Wait a minute. There's something queer about all this, and I'm going to find out what it is. I'm telling you, we just came from inside the theater, and I can prove it. Come on.
Where to?
Out onto the stage. There'll be plenty of signs of a performance here tonight, and there'll be no doubting that we saw the great Gambini give a performance.
Yeah. Do you see what I see?
All those seats, hundreds of them, covered with dust and cobwebs. And the curtain we saw come down, all torn and tattered.
Mr. Kent, I'm getting scared. We did see the great Gambini.
Now, easy does it, Jimmy. You.
Yes? Are you convinced now that you're...
I want to see the dressing rooms in this theater. You can't convince me that Jimmy Olsen, Miss Sidney Rycroft, and myself didn't see the great Gambini here tonight.
I'm telling you...
You're telling me nothing. The dressing rooms, I want to see them. And I want to see them right now. Get started.
This is the last dressing room of the lot. Here, I'll open the door. Well, go ahead in. All yours.
Holy mackerel, Mr. Kent. This is just like all the other dressing rooms. All covered with dust and cobwebs. The man must be right, Mr. Kent. We must be wrong.
Yes, I guess we are wrong. Well, sorry to have troubled you. Come on, Jimmy, let's go.
I could have told you in the first place you wouldn't find nothing. I've been watchman here for nigh on 2 years, and I know there ain't been a performance here in all that time.
Yes, yes. Well, good night.
What do we do now?
Jimmy, I want you to go back to the Daily Planet.
Without you?
Yes. I've got a little investigating to do, and I want to do it alone.
Oh, gee, Mr. Kent.
Do as I tell you, Jimmy.
Oh, okay. Well, when will you get back to the office?
I don't know. Now, scoot.
Okay. See you later.
All right. Hated to get rid of Jimmy, but I had to do it. Now, to go back into that theater
as Superman.
Can't seem to find a clue. Not a single clue. Why I'd expect to find one way up here on the balcony, I don't know. Funny. Whole theater darkened except for the light through that skylight. Dust all over the place. Dust and cobwebs. Yet I know I saw a performance here tonight. Gambini did make Miss Sidney Rycroft disappear into thin air. And that was a shock to begin with, discovering that Sidney Rycroft, the English explorer, was a woman and not a man. Well, I'd bet... Wait. Lights. Lights have gone up on the stage. Now, that's the funny... That little old man, the one Jimmy and I were just talking to, was walking out onto the stage. I better watch this carefully. Just rapping on the stage floor with his knuckles. Something tells me... a panel is sliding back in the floor of the stage. I'd better get down closer where I can see better and hear what's happening.
All right, boys. All's clear.
Did you get rid of that guy?
Oh, sure, no trouble at all. Gambini's car's out in the back right now. Better bring the girl out. Everything okay?
Yeah, we got it gagged and tied up.
Good. All right, then, make it snappy.
All right, you guys, let's get the girl out to the car. Take it easy. Shut up, sister. Nobody can hear you anyway.
You're wrong about that.
What's the devil?
Who said that?
Look up there in the box, the guy in the red cloak. Look the girl down, you guys. Looks like we got a little job to take care of first.
You bet you have.
Holy jump. Did you see the leap that guy made?
From the box to the stage.
All right, you men, what's going on here?
Wouldn't you like to know? Ow, me hand. I busted me hand.
Yes, and here's where I break your head.
Get him, you guys. Get him.
Come on, gentlemen. One down. Two down. Well, that's that. Now then, Miss Rycroft, we'll remove that very annoying gag from your mouth. There.
I don't know who you are, but I'm deeply grateful to you. We'd better get out of here.
Oh, no. Not before I question these men. There are a lot of questions that need answering.
Oh, they won't be able to tell you. They're just common hoodlums hired by Gambini. They don't know anything. Oh, please, let's get away from here.
Well, all right. Come on.
Thank you so much for what you've done, but who are you? Why are you dressed that way?
Never mind that. Not important. Now, perhaps I'd better see you to your hotel.
Oh, no. No, please. I'll be all right. I was caught off my guard tonight, and I can't explain, but I'll be all right from here on.
Well, I can't allow you to...
Oh, don't worry. I've got a gun, and I know how to use it. I'll get in a cab, and I'll be all right. Oh, wait. Would you do me another favor?
Why, of course.
There's a man named Clark Kent, a reporter on the Daily Planet. Would you telephone him, please, and tell him I'm safe and that he mustn't come to see me again?
Mustn't come to see you again.
That's right. Tell him to just forget about the interview and the story and everything.
Very well, I'll call him. Clark Kent, Daily Planet.
That's right. And thank you. Thank you again. Good night.
Will you excuse me, please?
Certainly, Mr. White.
Here's the Whitestein. Oh, hello, Lois. I don't know what's happened to Kent. I sent him out to interview Sidney Rycroft, the British explorer, and the next thing I know, Jimmy Olsen shows up here with a fantastic story about a woman disappearing in a theater that hadn't been used in years, and I don't know what else. What? I don't know, Lois. All I know is Kent better be able to explain all this, or he gets his walking papers tonight. Yes. Goodbye. Of all the idiotic...
Perhaps Mr. White, the young man, will explain everything.
Well, I doubt it. It will have to be pretty good. What a day.
I spent most of it trying to get his blasted cowboy friend Tumbleweed Jones out of jail. I finally succeeded, and that...
Hello, Chief. Got to see you right away. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you had someone else with you.
Quite all right, Kent. Come in. Now, tell me, Kent, did you make out all right on the interview with Sidney Rycroft?
Well, that's the story. First thing I discovered was that Sidney Rycroft is a woman, not a man.
A woman, eh?
Yes. And then when
Kent,
we went...
I've had enough of this. If you can't attend to business, if you can't do your job as it should be done...
Wait a minute, Chief. Wait a minute. What are you driving at?
Trying to hoodwink me, are you? Well, I happen to know, Kent, that you spent the day gallivanting around town enjoying yourself.
What?
You never did go to see Sidney Rycroft for that interview, and I can prove it.
Oh, can you? Well, prove it then.
This gentleman sitting on my right, Mr. Kent. Permit me to introduce him to you. Mr. Kent, may I present Sidney Rycroft, the British explorer. Mr. Sidney Rycroft, Kent. Mr. Sidney Rycroft.
Well, Superman seems to be getting into another baffling mystery. What is the solution to the strange incident in the theater? Why did the beautiful English girl claim to be Sidney Rycroft? Be sure to hear the next episode of this thrilling and baffling mystery story with Superman. And remember, tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman. Up in the sky, look! It's a plane! It's a plane! It's Superman! Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman! Up in the sky! Look! It's a plane! It's a plane! It's Superman! And now, Superman, champion of the weak and the oppressed, who came to Earth from the planet Krypton with physical powers far beyond those of mortal men, and who fights a never-ending battle against crime and injustice, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a large metropolitan newspaper. Superman, in the guise of Clark Kent, and Jimmy Olsen have become deeply involved in another baffling mystery. Assigned by Editor White to interview Sidney Rycroft, British explorer, Kent discovered the explorer was a woman, not a man. Miss Rycroft confided to Kent and Jimmy the fact that her life was in danger because she had dared to break the seal of the tomb of Osiris in Egypt. Our friends accompanied Miss Rycroft to the theater that night, where, in a weird adventure, Superman foiled an attempt on the girl's life. Having seen Miss Rycroft safely to her hotel, Kent returned to Editor White's office at the Daily Planet, where a fresh surprise awaited him. Listen.
Oh, Sidney Rycroft is a woman, eh, Kent?
That's right, Chief. But look here, suppose we discuss this later, huh? I see you've got a visitor. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Quite all right, old man, quite all right. I'm inclined to think, Kent, that my visitor would be very much interested in your decidedly weird story.
Why should he be interested in it, Chief?
Because he happens to be Sidney Rycroft.
Huh? You mind if I sit down, Chief? I'm beginning to feel a little dizzy.
What's gotten into you, Kent?
Oh.
I send you and Jimmy Olsen out to interview Sidney Rycroft, the British explorer. You're gone all afternoon and all night. Jimmy comes back and tells me some weird story about a theater disappearing or some such thing, and then you bounce in. Tell me you've been with Rycroft all day, then that Rycroft is a woman. When all the time Rycroft is sitting right here in my office.
Look here. I'd rather you couldn't argue over me. What?
I don't understand this at all. Chief, I give you my word. I went to the hotel you named and asked for Sidney Rycroft. And when Jimmy and I got to Rycroft's apartment, a girl opened the door. She told me that she was Sidney Rycroft.
Yes, Kent. Go on.
Well, she said she had 2 extra tickets for the great Gambini tonight, and would Jimmy and I care to go with her? Well, we went. Gambini called for a volunteer from the audience to help him in a disappearing act, and Miss Rycroft went up onto the stage.
So, you went to see the great Gambini, did you, Kent?
That's right, Chief.
You're lying, Kent.
What?
You know as well as I do that Gambini died 10 years ago.
Well, we saw someone who called himself the great Gambini.
Go on with your story, Kent. I just want to see how far your feverish imagination can go.
Oh, Chief, believe me, I'm telling you the truth. Gambini put Miss Rycroft into a box and caused the box to disappear. And then he walked off the stage and the curtain came down.
And Miss Rycroft did not reappear, eh?
That's right. Jimmy and I were worried, so we went backstage to see what had happened. Well, that's when we got the shock of our lives. We found an old man back there, a watchman, who said the theater had been closed for years. And to bear him out, there was dust and cobwebs all over the place.
Mystifying, what?
Go on, Kent, go on. Your imagination is amazing.
Honestly, Chief, this is all on the level.
What do you mean on the level? Kent, you've either invented this thing or you've dreamed it.
Well, what about Jimmy? We both couldn't have dreamed the same thing.
Jimmy will believe anything you tell him. But go on with this fairy tale of yours. What happened after you discovered the theater hadn't been used in years?
Why, nothing. We left the place.
Well, why did Jimmy come back here alone?
Well, I wanted to be by myself for a while. I wanted to think the thing out.
Think it out, eh? And you better go home and sleep it off, Kent.
But, Mr. White, look here, I feel frightfully guilty about this whole thing. I don't know quite what it's all about, but I do feel that I'm somewhat to blame.
On the contrary, Mr. Rycroft, we've imposed upon you. But I'll make it up to you. Instead of one article about you and your globe-trotting adventures, we'll run a series. Only this time I'll get someone I can trust to do it.
Hiya. Is Kent in here?
Tumbleweed Jones. I'd almost forgotten all about you. So the chief got you out of jail, did he?
He sure did, and I'm mighty grateful to him.
And you can show your gratitude by staying out of my office. This cowboy friend of yours, Kent, has given me more trouble than 6 other people put together.
Mr. White, you're a mighty fine hombre, but that temper of yours needs sweetening. Here. Here's some fudge.
I don't want any of your blasted fudge. Oh, Kent, I wish you were still out west somewhere. I wish you had never arrived back here this morning. I wish you'd get out of here and take this jumping weed or whatever his name is with you. Go on, get out.
Okay. Let's go, Tumbleweed.
Right with you, son. Say, what's Mr. White raising all that dust about, Kent?
I can't explain now, Tumbleweed. One thing I do know.
What's that, Kent?
Listen. Tonight, Jimmy and I saw a performance given by the great Gambini. Now I'm given to understand that Gambini died 10 years ago.
Well,
that man inside there with Editor White claims to be Sidney Rycroft, the explorer. Now, his name may be Rycroft, all right. But when I saw him on the stage tonight, he called himself the great Gambini.
You mean to tell me that fella in there is 2 people? Why, what kind of sense can you make out of that?
I can't make any kind of sense out of it yet, Tumbleweed. But I will before I'm through. Look, you care to come with me? I'll tell you the whole story on the way.
Where are you bound for?
I'm going to jump in a cab and go back to the hotel where I just left Miss Sidney Rycroft. I'm going to get to the bottom of this mess right now.
Well, Kent, that sure is the most low-code story I ever did hear.
First thing I've got to determine for sure, Tumbleweed, is which of these 2 people, the man or the woman, is really Sidney Rycroft.
Yeah, and supposing you find out, then where are you?
Well, that remains to be seen. There are a lot of questions that need answering. That business tonight of the girl disappearing, and the theater having the appearance of not having been used in years. Well, that was all an elaborate trick, I'm sure. I'll find out how it was accomplished in time. But why should anyone go to all that trouble?
You got me.
Another thing, Tumbleweed. You can't make me believe that these Egyptian fanatics, or whatever you call them, would follow that girl all the way around the world merely because she'd broken the seal of the tomb of Osiris. No, I'm convinced there's something more to it than that.
Well, you figure it out, Kent. I can't.
I'll know a lot more than I know now once I've talked with the girl who calls herself Sidney Rycroft. Oh, here we are. Here's the hotel where she's staying. All right, there you are, driver. Thanks, bud. Come on, Tumbleweed.
Right with you, Kent.
Yes, sir. Can I help you?
I've come to see Miss Sidney Rycroft. Will you announce me, please? Her name is Kent. Clark Kent.
Certainly, sir. I'll ring up her room. Miss Sidney Rycroft, please.
What beats me, Kent, is how you rescued the girl from them hombres after you found her backstage. I didn't know you was a fighting man.
Oh, that was nothing. Most of them ran off. Scared to death they were getting into trouble, I guess. I'm afraid it wasn't much of a fight.
Miss Rycroft doesn't answer, sir.
Oh, keep trying, please.
Ring Miss Rycroft again, operator.
Say, you don't reckon something's happened to that gal again, do you?
I don't know, Tumbleweed. It's funny she doesn't answer.
Hello? Miss Rycroft?
Oh.
This is the desk.
You got her all right.
Mr. Clark Kent to see you. Shall I have him come up? Very well, Miss Rycroft. Miss Rycroft says she'll come down if you don't mind waiting.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. That's funny, Tumbleweed. Why should she object to our coming up? She didn't this afternoon.
Don't ask me, Kent. I never did understand women. But now don't you go to breaking a stirrup. Let's you and me just sit down here in the lobby and wait and let the female get you.
Tumbleweed, I'm worried. We've waited in this lobby for over 30 minutes and still no sign of Miss Rycroft.
Better ask that fella at the desk to call up again.
No, what we'd better do is go right on up to her room. Come on.
But Kent, she said to wait down here till she came down.
Well, maybe she did, but I'm not waiting. Come on, we're taking the elevator up to the 8th floor. Eighth floor, please. Come on, Tumbleweed. She's in room 814.
Right with you, Kent.
Oh, here we are. I'll ring.
Sounds as quiet as a grave inside there.
Yeah, sounds too quiet.
See, look, Kent. Huh? This your door ain't even shut tight.
I can't. Why, George, you're right. That's funny. I think we'd better have a look inside.
Supper and coyotes, Kent. Look at this place.
Yeah, we're too late. Everything turned upside down. Furniture scattered all over the place. There must have been a struggle, Tumbleweed.
Well, I'll say, appears to me as how they made off with the girls.
Tumbleweed.
I hear you.
Remember while we were waiting downstairs, that heavily veiled woman got off the elevator?
That old woman, you mean, supported by the two men?
Old woman, nothing. Unless I missed my guess, that veiled woman was Miss Sidney Rycroft.
Well, brother, what are we waiting for?
We're not. Come on. The quicker we get downstairs, the better.
Yes, sir. I'm the doorman of this hotel.
How long have you been on duty?
For 5 hours. Why?
A woman, heavily veiled and supported by two men, went out the door about half an hour ago. Did you notice them?
Why, yeah, I did. I called a cab for them.
Where were they going, do you know?
Why, yeah, I heard one of the men give the driver an address on Water Street. But look here, you, what are you...
What was the address?
What's it to you? Anyhow, I don't remember.
Would this help you to remember?
$10. Well, let me see now.
Come on, what was the address?
Yes, sir, I remember now. It was 417 Water Street.
417 Water Street. Tumbleweed?
Yeah, Kent?
I want you to do something for me. Go back to the office and send a cable to the Explorers Club in London. Just say, is Sidney Rycroft a man or a woman? And sign my name.
But, Kent,
Do as I tell you. I'll see you later. There. I'm around the corner now, out of sight. Now, let's see. The address the doorman gave me was 417 Water Street. Well, it looks as if I'll have to pay a visit to that address. And I think this is a job for Superman.
What is the answer to this strange puzzle? What will Superman find when he arrives at 417 Water Street? Will he manage to save the girl from whatever danger threatens? And what is the solution to this baffling mystery? Be sure to hear the next thrilling episode of our story with Superman. And remember, tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman. Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman! Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with Stand by to raise ship. Blast off -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0! As roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Corbett, Space Cadet. Over the dense jungles of the Amazon, a Solar Guard jet ship blasts through the stratosphere. Aboard the speeding craft, Cadets Tom, Corbett, and Roger Manning, accompanied by Sally Wood, are on their way to Amazon City to try to clear themselves of charges that have made them fugitives from the Solar Guard.
Hey, Tom, something's coming in on the radio. I'll bet it's Captain Strong. He must have received our message, Roger.
It sounds like nothing but static to me.
Well, it's coded, Sally. Our Solar Guard code. Here, I'll set the scrambler. Come on, Roger, clean it up. We're getting close to Amazon City. Yep. There. I've got the right setting now.
Captain Strong to Cadet Corbett. Captain Strong to Cadet Corbett. Come in. Come in.
Tom Corbett here. Go ahead, sir.
Where in the universe are you?
Near Amazon City, sir. Did you get the message I piped to you?
Yes, and I was certainly relieved to hear from you. There's a dead or alive warrant out for your arrest.
We know it, but I explained what happened. You believe us, don't you, sir?
I do, Tom, but the orders for your arrest can't be officially canceled until there's been a hearing. So, as far as the Solar Guard is concerned, you and Manning are still fugitives.
That's all right with us, sir. I think it will help us to get those plans from Anders.
Now, listen carefully, Tom. I can be in Amazon City by noon tomorrow. I'll come out of the Solar Guard headquarters building at exactly that time. You and Manning watch for me from across the boulevard.
Right, sir.
I'll get on the northbound slidewalk. You two follow me on the opposite side, and we'll meet at the first changeover junction. You got that?
Yes, sir. Tom, look at the radar screen. Great Jupiter. Those are Solar Guard interceptors. And they're after us.
Tom, what's going on?
Solar Guard ships. We've got to duck them. See you in Amazon City tomorrow, sir. End transmission.
Tom, can't we outrun them?
I'm wide open now, and they're gaining.
What will they do?
Blast us out of the sky if they can. They're firing now. That was close.
That one hit us.
Hold it steady, Tom. I can't. The controls don't answer. Look out. Pull up or we'll crash. I'm doing my best.
We're headed straight for the jungle.
Hang on, Sally. Watch it. Brace yourselves. We're going to hit. Oh, brother. I never thought we'd walk out of that one alive.
Oh, it was a beautiful landing, Tom.
Lucky we found that clearing. We just managed to shoehorn in. Look out. The Solar Guard jet. Hit the dirt.
Did they see us?
I don't know, but we can't stay here now. They'll drop a detail of parapolice down to investigate. Yeah, we'll have to start moving.
But where can we go?
I noticed the house from the air. It's over there beyond that next hill. Okay, any port in a storm. Let's hike. Say, look at that place. What a joint.
Why would anyone in his right mind build a mansion like that out here in the jungle?
Well, look, they have an air car. See it parked over there? Yeah. Maybe we can get a lift to Amazon City, Tom. I sure hope so. That way we can meet Captain Strong and figure out a way to locate Anders before he knows we're on his trail.
Tom, look! There's someone coming out of the house.
Well, maybe he'll help us out. Hello there.
Well, hello.
Offer to pay him for the lift, Tom. I've still got some of those credits left.
Was that your jet that crashed on the other side of the hill?
That's right, sir.
We're lucky we're still alive.
Indeed you are, Miss Wood.
What? How did you know my name?
Let me introduce myself. I'm Wayne Anders.
Anders?
That's right. And believe me, I'm most happy to offer you the hospitality of home. I insist that you stay with me for a long time.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Spaceman, if you want to start out tomorrow ready for action, you just hurry on down to the breakfast table first thing in the morning. When you get there, eat the breakfast cereal that's tops with the cadets at Space Academy. Open up a package of Kellogg's Pep and pour out a bowl full of good eating. Right at the first swell tasting spoonful, you'll say, Jumping Jupiter. No wonder Astro, Tom, and Roger go for Kellogg's Pep. This is great. And you know, besides rating ace high for flavor, Kellogg's Pep gets you set for a real energy send-off in the morning. When you rocket off to school or out to play, Kellogg's Pep helps you to travel at full space speed. Pep gives you other important food values, too. Food values that help you build strong bones, strong teeth, strong muscle. Ask your mom to set you up with Kellogg's Pep every morning. Then you'll be starting the day just like Tom, Astro, and Roger. And whether you're heading out to Saturn's rings or down to the field for a ball game with your pals, remember, start your day the spaceman's way with a build-up wheat cereal, Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
When Tom, Roger, and Sally Wood survive the crash of their jet in the Amazon jungle, they stumble upon a big house hidden deep in a steaming valley. But when they seek help there, they are confronted by Wayne Anders, the man they have been hunting down. Now, some hours later, in the basement of the mansion.
Of all the rotten breaks, we ran right into that space creep's hands.
I'm more worried about Sally, Roger. I wish Anders hadn't separated us from her.
Yeah, the poor kid must be scared to death.
We're in a real tight spot. Unless we can find a way out of this hole, we won't meet Captain Strong in Amazon City.
Oh, we might as well forget about that. Just look at this place. Bars on all the windows, and the only way out is that steel door that leads upstairs.
I'm not so sure about that.
Huh?
Roger, do you have any money?
Yeah, some of those credits left, but...
No, not paper money. I need change. Small change.
Oh, well, let's see. Yeah.
Well, let me have that dime.
Here.
Uh-huh. Thanks. Let's see.
Hey, what are you fooling around with that ventilator duct for?
This may be our way out. This is part of the air conditioning system. So this duct must lead to a vent upstairs somewhere. And it's big enough to crawl through.
Hey, maybe you got something.
Now, if I can only loosen these screws, we can pull the screen off.
Here, let me help you.
Now, I'm getting this one.
Well, I'll work on this side.
I figure we can lift this whole section out. Then crawl up the duct and force open a grate upstairs.
With our luck, we'll probably wind up right in Anders' lap.
It's a big house. He can't be everywhere. There. This side's loose.
Just a couple more turns over here. That does it.
Good. We've got it. Help me ease the screen off.
Okay. Now, with any kind of a break, we'll be out of here in no time.
Okay, Roger. There's no one in the hall. Crawl out, quick.
I'm sure glad to get out of that dustbin.
Hey, look. Over there on that table.
A portable shortwave set. Hey, our luck's changing.
We'll take it along. And as soon as we're clear of this place, we'll contact Captain Strong.
Wait a minute. What about Sally?
We'll try to find her right now. Come on. Through this archway. Come on. Hey, what in blazes? It's an alarm. We must have walked through the beam of an electric eye. Yeah, there it is in the archway.
Blast it. Now we'll have the whole house on our necks.
Come on, we've got to get out of here.
But where'll we go?
The jungle. It's our only chance. Step on it.
Hey, Tom, can't we hold up for a minute? I'm beat.
Okay, Roger. We'll take 5, but no more.
We must have shaken them. We've used every trick in the book.
I don't see how they can pick up our trail for hours now.
Say, don't you think we ought to raise Captain Strong on that shortwave set you took?
Good idea. Well, it works all right. So far, so good.
Well, get to work.
Calling Solar Guard headquarters in Amazon City. Calling Amazon City Solar Guard headquarters. I'm trying to contact Captain Strong. Come in if you read me. Cadet Tom Corbett here.
Corbett, I have a message for you, Corbett. Come in.
Hey, that's Anders' voice.
Blast it.
Go ahead, answer him. Maybe he wants to make a deal.
I hear you, Anders. What do you want?
Your position is hopeless, Corbett. Unless you and Manning surrender at once, you'll never see Sally Wood alive.
Oh, he's bluffing. If anything happens to Sally, he'll never get the information he wants from her father.
I know, but he's in a corner now, and he's desperate.
Did you hear me, Corbett?
Yes, I hear you.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, why'd you cut off?
We're a couple of lockheads. He's using my voice to get a fix on our position.
Jumping Jupiter, I never thought of that.
Hey, listen, what's that?
Hey, don't tell me he's caught up with us already.
Well, take it easy. It's not Anders. Look.
Why, the rings of Saturn. A monkey.
Yeah. He sees us. He's coming over this way.
Well, he won't find me here.
Oh, study your gyros. He's friendly. Just curious about us, that's all.
Well, I'm not curious about him.
Well, come here, fella. Now, don't be afraid. We won't hurt you.
Hey, what do you know? He's as tame as a kitten.
I told you. He just wants to make friends.
Hey, what in the universe?
He just wants to try on your hat.
Come on, give it back. Okay, we won't fight over it. Keep it.
He looks better in it than you do, Roger.
Hey, what's eating him now?
Roger, look. Over there, the way those bushes are moving.
It's Anders. He's caught up to us again. Let's blast! Okay, Tom. Slow down. I think we've lost him again.
Damn. I only saw Anders.
Well, he had his stooge with him. Juan. The one who locked us in the basement.
Oh.
Here comes our old pal, the monkey. He certainly didn't lose us.
You know, Tom, I still can't figure out how Anders tracked us so fast.
Yeah, just what I've been wondering. Even if he got a fix on the set when I was talking to him, there just wasn't time.
Hey, wait a minute. Let's have another look at that set. Some of those babies have concealed tracer beam senders on them.
You're right, Roger. It's here. A UHF sender.
And we've been carrying it around with us the whole time.
All Anders had to do was monitor it and follow the beam, which means we haven't lost Anders. He may not be far behind us.
Well, go on, smash it.
No. Hold it a minute. I've got a better idea. If Anders wants to follow this set, we'll let him.
What do you mean, Tom?
Well, there's no time to explain now, Roger. Just watch me. Mr. Anders is going to have a long walk for himself.
Over this way, Juan. According to the monitor, we're closing in.
We have been close to them before, Senor Anders.
We'll get them this time. I think they're lost. They've been traveling a circle for the last half hour.
Sir, look. The other side of the clearing. Something moved.
There they are.
Shoot! Oh, Senor, he's only a monkey.
With a shortwave set on its back.
They have tricked us. They have escaped.
Not yet, they haven't. They're either headed back for the house to get the girl or for Amazon City to contact Captain Strong.
But which?
Listen, Juan. I'm going back to the house and guard the girl. You go ahead to Amazon City. You can still beat them if you take the lower trail.
Si, senor.
Find those cadets before they reach Captain Strong. And shut them up for good.
Well, there's Solar Guard headquarters across the boulevard, Roger. But I don't see any sign of Captain Strong.
What time is it, Tom?
3 minutes after 12.
Blast it. Maybe we've missed him.
That's what I'm beginning to wonder. No. Now, there he is now, coming down toward the slidewalk.
Come on, let's get on the northbound walk on this side. We're to meet him at the changeover point.
Right. The captain just stepped on the northbound walk on his side. Hop aboard, Roger.
Go ahead, I'm right behind you. Hey, Tom, don't look now, but we're being tailed.
What?
It's that Juan character that works for Anders. He just boarded this slidewalk.
Uh-oh. Anders must have sent him to keep us from meeting Captain Strong.
What can we do? The minute we're clear of this crowd, he'll probably blast us.
We've got one chance. Listen, when we reach the junction, get off the slidewalk and duck down behind the wall right next to the exit.
I get it. When he steps off the slidewalk after us, we nail him.
That's it. We each grab an arm, but try not to attract any attention.
Maybe we can hustle him into the monorail terminal before he knows what's happening.
We'll try it. Watch it, Roger. Here's the junction. Step off. Down behind this wall, quick.
Here he comes.
Nail him. Okay, mister, in here.
What? Let go. My arms. Let go.
Move and keep your mouth shut.
You cannot do this to me.
You want to bet, senor?
Enter the terminal, quick, Roger. Now, up against that wall, Buster, and hold still.
Let me go, or I call for help.
Just try it. I'll push my fist clean down your gullet.
I hope Captain Strong saw where we went.
Yeah, I was counting on him taking it from here.
Here he comes, Roger, right on course as usual.
You cannot hold me here.
Cut your jets, mister. We're giving the orders now.
What's going on here?
This is one of Anders' men, sir, sent to intercept us.
That is a lie. I am an innocent citizen. I demand my rights.
Now, you'll get your rights in court. These cuffs ought to hold you.
Oh, oh.
Now, you just stand there and keep quiet.
Si, senor.
Now then, what gives with you two? Where's Miss Wood?
She's still a prisoner in the Anders place, sir. We had to run for her.
Well, then we've got to get her out of there. I'll order a detachment of men.
No, sir, that won't work. If Anders finds out the Solar Guard is after him, he might kill Sally.
Let Tom and me go back there, sir.
We know the layout of his place now. We can take him by surprise and then wait for the Solar Guard to move in for the arrest.
That might be the best plan. All right, carry on. I'll take this man back to headquarters and then arrange for a detail to follow you. Oh, one thing more.
Yes, sir?
Stay clear of any Solar Guard units. You're still fugitives, and we can't broadcast a retraction without alerting Anders.
Don't worry, Captain. We'll be careful.
Yeah, extra careful.
We're almost there, Roger. As soon as we cross that gorge, we'll be inside of Anders' place.
Then the real fun starts.
Great galaxy! Hit the dirt!
Oh, brother, those guys are close.
Try to crawl over this way, Roger. There's a big log to our left.
Tom, we're surrounded. Anders must have been tipped off.
They're not Anders' men, Roger.
What?
They're solar guards. See them over there?
By the moons of Jupiter, you're right, Tom.
This is one for the books. We're trying to save Sally Wood, and we're going to be knocked off by our own men, the solar guard.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Say, spaceman, how are you coming along with your collection of Space Cadet picture cutouts? You know, you can get as many as 4 different Space Academy favorites, full-length pictures of Astro, Roger, Tom Corbett, and Dr. Joan Dale. These picture cutouts are swell for making Space Cadet settings. Just imagine one of the exciting adventures the Space Cadets have been on. You draw a picture of it and put the cutouts right on the setting. You can even make a stage and have the picture cutouts reenact all your favorite Space Cadet adventures. If you haven't got Space Cadet picture cutouts yet, you want to start your collection right away. Ask your mom to get you a regular-sized package of Kellogg's Pep. Look on the back of the package, and right there, you see your own Space Cadet cutout. It's a full-length picture made from an actual photograph. Each cutout shows you an official Space Academy uniform, too. Cut the picture out of the box, make a little stand for it, and you're all set for a Space Cadet adventure. At the same time, you'll be all set to dish out the best-tasting wheat flakes that ever got covered with milk and sugar. Pep gives you that tasty whole wheat and malt flavor that just tops everything. And remember, there's a Space Cadet picture cutout on the back of every regular-sized package of Pep. So don't delay. Ask for the Build-Up Wheat Cereal, Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
Meeting Captain Strong in Amazon City and arranging for a rescue party, Tom and Roger proceed alone toward Anders' hideout in the jungle. Their plan is to free Sally Wood before Anders can carry out his threat to kill her. But the boys walk right into an ambush and are pinned down by the blazing guns of a Solar Guard patrol.
We're trapped, Tom. They've got us surrounded. There's only one thing left to do, Roger. We'll have to surrender and try and convince the officer in charge that we're no longer fugitives.
But suppose we can't convince him.
It's either that or be blasted. Here, let me get my shirt off.
Careful, Tom. Keep low.
Now, I'll just put this shirt on the end of a stick and wave it over our heads.
Come on, hurry up.
Here goes.
Say, they stopped firing.
All right, you two. Stand up so we can see you. Now keep your hands on your head. Stand still.
Okay, we're not moving.
That's Corbett and Manning?
Yes, sir.
I'm Lieutenant Blake of the Solar Guard. You're under arrest.
You're making a mistake, Lieutenant. We've been cleared of all charges.
Knock it off, mister. I'm taking you in.
Sir, you've got to listen. We're trying to get to the Anders house beyond that gorge. A girl's life depends on it.
You two are going back to Amazon City with me. Guards, take these men to the plane.
Where is your plane, sir?
On the other side of the gorge, across that bridge.
Thank you. Come on, Roger.
What's wrong with you, Tom? We've got to get away.
We're going to. When we get in the middle of that bridge.
You mean jump into the water?
Yes.
Hey, that's a long drop.
All the better. When we hit the water, we'll stay under and swim for the bank. There's plenty of cover there.
Do you think we can reach the Anders house before they catch up with us?
It's worth a try, isn't it?
I suppose so. Okay, we're over the water. Ready?
Yeah. Let's go.
They're trying to escape. Cut them down.
Miss Wood, I'm afraid I have some very unpleasant news for you. Those friends of yours, the cadets, have reached Amazon City and have reported your capture.
Oh, I knew they'd do it. I knew they'd help me.
You're wrong. Now I have no choice but to kill you.
No, let go of me.
Sorry, Miss Wood, but under the circumstances...
Circumstances have changed, pal.
What?
Watch it, Tom. He's got a gun.
It won't help him.
Nice work, Tom. He's all racked up for the freezer.
Better grab his gun.
Sure thing.
Oh, Tom, Roger, I thought...
Easy does it, Sally. Everything's going to be okay now.
Yeah, the skipper's on his way out with a detachment of men. He'll mop up Anders' whole mob.
What about the plans? Are they still in the house?
Yes. In the safe upstairs. I know exactly where they are.
Good. Well, I guess we can relax until the skipper gets here. Great idea. Come on, Sally. You sit over here with me. I've got a lot of things to tell you. Oh, no. Not again.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, on Tuesday, when the crew of the Polaris rockets beyond Pluto to meet danger in deep space. Tune in, same time, same station on Tuesday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the Build-Up Wheat Cereal.
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in the cast are Jan Merlin, Edward Bryce, Ivor Francis, Grant Sullivan, and Rosemary Rice. Today's program was written by Gilbert Braun, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
And what a secret! In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins along with delicious golden crisp bran flakes. Both fruit and cereal all in one box. And no other Raisin Bran but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's secret. So for your breakfast, make sure you get Kellogg's. Because
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
This program came to you from...
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Tonight, we escape to the prison island of New Caledonia and to the murderous conflict between one of the prisoners and the monstrous Monsieur Denou, official executioner, as John Russell tells it in his terrifying story, The Red Mark. We breathe in, breathe out, inhale and exhale, and we are therefore considered officially as living. Privately, however, and always with a snarl deep in our throats, we call ourselves the living dead. We sleep without resting, wake without desire, eat without pleasure, and work without hope. Some of us work in the mines, some in the copra sheds. I myself am a barber, but all of us wear the same straw sandals and the same rough canvas jackets, and we are never allowed to forget that this is the penal colony of New Caledonia, that we are convicts, and that France is on the other side of the world.
Hello, Jemar.
What? I'll be sure. You startled me. I didn't hear you come in.
You were daydreaming.
You know how it is.
I know how it is for you. But you mind, for me, the dreams are at an end. My life as a convict is at an end.
You have your ticket home?
Of course I have my ticket. I've only 8 more days to go.
8 days.
3 weeks on the ship, and then France. Freedom, wine, music, the theater.
Shut up.
Oh, sorry, do you mind?
You are my friend, my very good friend, but Don't talk to me about France.
I'm really sorry.
You're leaving in 8 days, but I will be here for 13 more years.
I know.
I assume you wish to be shaved?
If you'd be so kind.
Be seated.
Uh-oh. Jemai, look.
What?
Out the window there, coming across the compound.
Oh, yes. Monsieur Duneau and his ugly little assistant, Bon Beast. The vultures.
It's no matter for concern. If one has a prison, one must have an executioner. Careful with that soap.
Monsieur Duneau is neither flesh nor fowl, neither a convict nor an official master of the guillotine. He's a dog, a pig.
But such easy work if one has a strong stomach. For merely pulling the cord on the guillotine only 3 or 4 times a year, he's permitted a house of his own, even a wife.
He's a corpse who should be buried with a stake through his heart. I hate him.
Oh, ignore him. He's nothing, an old bag of bones.
He's the devil himself.
Devil, huh? Jemai, if he were the devil, he would not be the stupid fool that he is. Ignore him, I tell you. I do.
Ignore him, huh? It can't be done.
Careful with that razor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Are you trying to become an executioner yourself?
Bichot, there's something you know about Monsieur Duneau. Tell me what it is.
Look, Jemai, you will say nothing until next week, until I've sailed?
Nothing, I swear it.
All right, I trust you. You know his wife, of course.
You mean that little girl?
Yes, from the fishing village down the coast. Zelly, her name is.
Well, what about her?
Do you not agree that she's beautiful?
That marriage is a sacrilege.
True. But you can't blame her. Monsieur Duneau bought her from her family.
Disgusting.
Of course. But is she not beautiful?
I don't pretend to be a judge of these things.
You know she is.
Well, what about her?
You asked, do I have my tickets to France? Yes. Yes, but not just one. More than that. I have 2 tickets.
2?
Zelly is going with me.
Oh, Bichot, you're out of your mind.
No. But I would be if I left here without her.
But can you not imagine what that man will do to you?
He will do nothing because he knows nothing. He's a stupid fool.
Oh, but my friend, you're young and you've forgotten France, Paris, the world outside. It's full of beautiful women. It's foolish to run this risk for Zelly when there will be others waiting for you.
But you might. I love her.
You love her?
And she loves me. I'll try to make her happy, make her forget. She's never been happy, Jemai. And she's a girl who ought to be very, very happy all the time. Now, if your hand is steady again, get on with my shave, will you?
I saw that my little friend Bichot was in dead earnest. Right or wrong, foolish as he might be, he meant every word he'd said. And suddenly, I realized how much alike they were, he and Zelly, the child bride of the executioner. They were both small and slim, with lively eyes and mouths that were quick with laughter. Why, they even looked alike. Across the compound, Duneau was talking with his jackal of a servant as they promenaded. A gaunt, black-garbed monster. He was the only convict among us who never wore the shapeless gray canvas clothes. I glanced at the two of them now and then as I went on shaving Bichot, wondering what they talked about. What they dared to talk about in the bright, clean light of the sun. That hideous pair of devils.
Master?
What is it, Bambi?
The little one who smiles too often, Bichot.
What about him?
In the barber's there. He's being shaved.
Do you assume the fact to be of some interest to me?
I only mentioned it.
Hardly necessary. I was already aware that Bichot was there in the barber's hut being shaved.
I'm sorry, Master.
In fact, I am aware of several things that stupid little Bichot thinks are secrets. Being shaved, is he? We have a blade that could give him a closer shave. Bambi?
Oh, yes, Master. So close that he would never need another one.
An interesting idea. Very interesting. I think Bichot has made rather a serious error in not realizing my cleverness. A mistake that may very well prove fatal. Zelly.
Who is it?
Your husband, my little one, your old husband. You were expecting someone else, perhaps.
No, of course not. But you're home early.
Did I surprise you?
Well, I
enjoy surprising you, my dear. Do you mind?
No. But dinner won't be ready for another hour yet. I'll start it at 1.
An hour? What is an hour when we have a lifetime together? Ellie?
Yes, sir.
Even though I'm an old man, old enough to be your father, You do not answer me.
I don't consider you old, sir.
Thank you. Then we will have many more years together. No?
But of course, sir.
And we must make good use of those years. We must do things,
Anything you wish?
Then why not begin with a small trip up the coast? I can easily get permission.
Whatever you say.
Good. Then we shall leave the 1st of next week.
Next week?
Yes, my dear. Why not?
But next week, 8 days from now, the boat stops here.
Really? I had forgotten about it. But what could that possibly have to do with us?
Well, letters. There may be letters for you from France.
Huh?
And your papers. You know how you love your papers.
Ah, you were so considerate of my welfare, Ellie.
Try to be, sir.
You must love me very much. I said, you must love me very much.
Oh, of course.
Say it.
What?
Say that you love me very much.
I love you very much, sir.
Pity. It's so unfortunate you must always address me as sir. Much too formal.
It means nothing. It's only a habit.
You must do something about that habit. I'm going out while you prepare dinner, Zelly. I must see Bombiste about a little matter.
You'll be back soon?
But of course. How could I bear to be away from you? Not to see you or touch you for even one single night. Goodbye, Zelly. Bombiste.
Yes. Yes, master.
Bombiste, are you aware that we have not worked in some time?
True, not for a long time.
Too long, Bombiste?
Oh, yes, master. Much too long.
Bombiste, in view of that treaty between the government and the jungle tribes, the prison officials might be very displeased if a native should be murdered.
But of course, the officials are leaning over backward to avoid trouble.
And what do you think would happen to a man who murdered a native?
Chunk. Surgery.
Precisely.
Has somebody killed a Canuck?
No, at least not yet.
Not yet?
Bombiste, do you happen to know where our little friend sleeps at night? The handsome Bijou?
I think it is in barrack number 12.
Would you find his bed in the dark?
Yes, master, but if it is a matter of slipping a knife between his ribs, there are much better places than the barracks. Why not in the jungle, where it may seem that a native...
Please, Bombiste.
Oh, I'm sorry, master.
You are not going to slip a knife between Bijou's ribs. In fact, my little Bombiste, quite the contrary.
Quiet. Bijou. What do you want? Why are you awake?
Tonight something's happened. I'm not sure what it is.
Oh? What do you mean?
I woke a moment ago. Some sound, I think. I have something here to show you.
What is it, Bijou?
Wait. Strike a match. Look.
He was holding a convict's jacket in his hands made of gray cotton canvas. The number on the pocket was 2232, Bijou's own number. And the whole front of the jacket was splattered with bright red blood.
In just a moment, we will return with the second act of Escape. But first, most people like to know what to expect.
But on at least one CBS show, a great part of the fun is in what turns up on the spur of the moment. That show is Groucho Marx's great quiz, You Bet Your Life, heard every Wednesday night on most of these same CBS stations. Now we return you to the second act of Escape.
The brief time before the match flared and went out seemed like minutes. I grabbed Bijou by the arm and lay still, listening in the darkness, straining to hear whether anyone else may have been awakened. There was no sound. The other men slept on.
Into my sandals. Feel them, they're wet. Yes, they've been worn outside somewhere within the last hour. And my knife has blood on it, too.
Bijou, tell me quickly, where have you been? What have you done?
Nothing, I've been asleep.
You've not been out of the barrack?
No, I swear it. Jemai, what is this? What does it mean?
Bijou, I think it means that someone is more clever than you. Wait. The prison dogs. Listen.
Yes. They're coming this way. Jemai, are they after me?
Who else?
What am I going to do?
Well, first we must dispose of these bloody clothes. In the jungle, I think.
You're going to help me?
Well, of course, my friend. Come, I have a plan. Quietly now, Bijou. And quickly. We threaded our way among the sleeping convicts to the rear of the barracks. Near the back door, I saw a pair of old, worn rope sandals. I grabbed them and took them with me. And then we raced across the hard-beaten earth of the compound, cursing the bright moon overhead, and plunged into the black thicket of liana and mangrove and fern, into the jungle. For half an hour or more, we smashed our way through the soggy tangle of undergrowth, crashing into trees, tripping into vines and roots, sprawling full length on the swampy loam. But always we staggered to our feet again and ran on and on and on.
Where's that stream?
We must be very close now. I saw it here somewhere last spring.
But this is not last spring.
Those streams do not move about. Keep on.
We'll never find it in this darkness.
There will be a path of moonlight. The trees are open above the stream. No, Bijou, go on.
But Jemai.
It's no time to stop now.
Wait. Listen. I think the dogs are closer.
No, but they soon will be. Come on.
Jemai, we must find that stream.
And then minutes later, we did find it. Dead tired and dripping with sweat from the steaming heat of the tropic night, we stumbled over a low hummock and saw the blazing white path of moonlight ahead of us, almost at our feet. We slid down the shallow bank, dropped to our knees, and then all our brave hopes died out of us.
Jemai, the stream is dry.
Bijou, I tell you, last spring it was a torrent. It filled these banks so high, higher than my head.
It's dry. Not a trickle. They're coming closer. Run, Jemai. Run while you still can.
No. Look, I brought another pair of sandals from the barrack. Here, put them on. The dogs will not have the scent of this pair. Quickly now.
You put on those sandals. We'll circle back to the barrack. They'll never know you left. I can run no further. I'll wait for them.
Bijou, I cannot leave you here to...
Don't be a fool. Put on those sandals. Hurry now before it's too late. And later there's something I'd like for you to do for me. Here. The tickets to France. Give them to Zedek. Help us get away from it.
If only there was some way to kill him.
It would mean nothing. Tell us to go to the Andre Marin in Lyon. He'll take care of it. Go now.
All right. Is there nothing else?
No.
Then goodbye, Bijou.
Goodbye, my friend. Tell her I love him very much.
Being a convict, I was, of course, not permitted to attend the trial of my friend Bijou for the murder of a native. There were 2 convicts present, however, 2 star witnesses who palmed the Bible reverently and swore to having seen Bijou commit the murder. 2 demons from hell, Monsieur Deneux and Bombiste. The trial was over in less than 2 hours. The verdict was not surprising. The sentence, inevitable.
Convict Bijou, you arise and face the council. Have you anything more to say in your defense?
Nothing I haven't said before. I'm innocent. I've killed no one.
Then this council of the penal colony of New Caledonia, sitting as a special court of the Republic of France, finds you guilty as charged. As commandant of this prison, I order you to be taken to the compound of the camp at daybreak of the second morning following, and there in the presence of your fellow convicts, to be guillotined.
The night before the execution, I stood outside Bijou's cell, rolled cigarettes, and handed them to him through the barred window. The guard dozed somewhere on the other side of the hut. After all, my friend was to die in the morning. No one could escape from this place, and there was no reason for caution.
Tell me, dear Mike. Silly, how did she take it? Is she all right?
I could only see her for a moment. It was dangerous. I gave her the tickets, but she says she will not leave you.
I who will be leaving in the morning at daybreak. Does she expect a miracle?
Probably. Because she is in love with you. She's very upset, of course, nearly out of her mind.
Poor little Sally. I hope it goes well with her in France.
Bijou, is there nothing at all I can do for you?
No, nothing. The Republic has been very thoughtful in all the details. Even a bottle of red wine with my last meal. Oh, the vintage was atrocious.
Bijou.
And look, they've even left me the black hood, which I wear to the guillotine. I suppose I'm to make sure of the size or get used to wearing it or something.
My friend, would you like for me to send for the priest?
No. He was here, but I sent him away. I thought he would need a good night's sleep since he's supposed to accompany me in my ordeal. Oh, not, of course, to the extent of getting his head cut off, you understand. But
Joe, how can you make jokes about a thing like this?
My friend, how can I do anything else? The game is over. Should I pound my head on the wall and scream like a madman?
Quiet. Someone is coming.
Bijou, are you there?
It is Zélie.
What?
Zélie! Over here.
Who is it?
Jumai. Come. Here by the wall.
She's right. We must not waste time.
Zélie, go away from here quickly before they find you.
Be quiet, dear. Here, the key to his cell. Let him out. The guard's asleep.
Where did you get this?
From my husband, after he went to sleep. Hurry, please.
But it will help nothing. Only cause trouble for you.
There's no time to argue. Hurry.
I took the key and slipped around to the entrance of the hut. The fat guard dozed in a chair with his hands folded on his paunch. I moved past him, tiptoed to the door of Bijou's cell, headed the key in the lock. I held my breath, but nothing stirred. Bijou came out of the cell without a word. He slipped past the guard and met Zélie by the wall of the hut. The three of us skirted the moonlit compound with the grim black shadow of the guillotine in the center of it. And without raising any alarm, we finally reached the edge of the jungle. Zélie clung with a desperate grip to Bijou's hand and wept sometimes. But gradually it became clear to all of us that there was no answer, no escape. Bijou might swim to the ship lying in the harbor, but with a prisoner at large, it was sure to be searched before it sailed. The coast in either direction was too well guarded, and that left only the jungle and the hills beyond. Hills swarming with savages who were quite aware that the head of an escaped convict delivered to the commandant was good for a bolt of bright red calico. But in our despair, the jungle seemed to offer at least some forlorn hope, and so it was decided. Bijou would try to reach the western side of the island, and from there Australia, while Zélie would sail on the ship when it left in the morning and wait for word in Lyon. One thing was fortunate. She had brought the clothes Bijou had planned to wear to France. We could leave his convict garb in his cell and stop any trail. This time there would be no dogs. 3 hours before dawn, after a long kiss for Zélie and a hand grip for me, Bijou turned and struck into the jungle, and Zélie broke into tears.
He has no chance. The names are bound to find him and kill him, Monsieur Dumais. You know he has no chance.
Oh, he's very clever, Zélie, and brave. Of course there's a chance.
I think he knows he'll kill him. I think he's only being kind to me.
You're only speaking foolishness. You must be brave, too, you know.
Brave? I could do anything for you. lose him.
Well, you're likely to do that if we stay here any longer. It's too near dawn now, and we have to take those clothes back to the cell. You must go home and be ready to slip aboard the boat.
Only a few days ago, I was so happy. For the very first time in my life, monsieur, we were going away on that boat, Little Bijou and I. And now, monsieur, you're mine. I cannot go on living without him. I cannot bear to live without him.
As was the custom in those days, we knelt bareheaded, over 400 of us, on the hard-packed dirt of the compound facing the guillotine. The morning sun burst suddenly over the eastern rim of the sea, its blood-red color fitting for the business at hand. The commandant of the prison stood only a few yards from me, and just beyond him, fussing over their hideous machine, those two vultures of evil, Monsieur Deneau and Bombite. The stage was set. The audience was ready. And only I knew that the star actor would not make an appearance.
Is everything in readiness, Monsieur Deneau?
Quite in readiness, Monsieur le Commandant.
Very well. Bring out the prisoner.
I looked toward the cell hut and waited, keeping my face as blank as all those around me. And then a priest and a guard stepped out of the hut and came toward us, and walking between them, wearing the gray convict's uniform and the black hood of the condemned, was my little friend Bijou. One moment of shock, and then I suddenly understood his apparent agreement with our plans a few hours earlier. He had reasoned that by this time Zélie should be aboard the ship that had waited only for the tide to sail. She would not know of the execution for months, a year or more perhaps. And by then she would be settled safely in France. And so Bijou had come back to face his death.
Miss, place the condemned prisoner on the rack.
Yes, master.
Of all of us in the compound that morning, the man who was to die seemed the least afraid, and the least concerned of any. Though the hideous black hood covered his face and head to the shoulders, no hood nor prison clothes could hide the almost jaunty swagger of his walk. That swagger spoke a reproof to the justice of the prison court, sneered at the blood-stained evil soul of Deneau, and gave courage and hope to us who knelt on the ground.
I am ready to proceed, Monsieur le Commandant. Is it your order that this prisoner be executed?
It is. Proceed, Monsieur Deneau.
Bombie, raise the knife. I think to the very top.
To the top, master.
The eyes of all of us, officials and convicts alike, followed the heavy blade moving slowly up the guide. Fascinated. Some of us snarled or cursed. Some of us trembled. But only Monsieur Deneau smiled to himself. So intent was my gaze that I hardly noticed the native who pushed past me carrying a leaf-wrapped bundle and walked up to the commandant.
Here. What is this? What are you doing here?
We bring him one fella head. All I send you give him one piece calico.
We've had no escape here. Long time, fella here no chop bush.
All I send you bring him one fella head. You look.
Monsieur Deneau, holding the release cord of the guillotine in his hand, smiling still, had not noticed. The native fumbled with his package, and suddenly out rolled a human head, one that was impossible to mistake.
You! But this is the head of the convict, Bijou.
Then who in the name of heaven was the prisoner on the rack?
Monsieur Deneau, stop! No, stop! Monsieur, that was not Bijou. Here is his head. Look.
Not Bijou.
Who is it you have killed? Pull off the hood and see.
No, I'm afraid.
Monsieur Deneau, remove that hood.
And then, suddenly, I knew. It was not necessary for me to see who Monsieur Deneau had executed. Little Zélie had taken the place of Bijou on the guillotine, and now had joined him in death.
Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson. Tonight we have presented The Red Mark by John Russell, freely adapted for radio by Les Crutchfield and Manny Grotnick. Featured in the cast were Bill Conrad as Jemai, Harry Bartell as Bijou, Will Gear as Monsieur Denou, Barbara Whiting as Zélie, Junius Matthews as Bombiste, and Paul Frees as the Commandant. Special music was arranged and conducted by Del Castillo. Next week.
You are in command of an English destroyer sailing to join the North Sea Patrol in October 1914. It is midnight, and from the coast of Flanders comes a desperate signal for help, which you want to ignore, but which destiny forces you to answer and to become the man who won the war.
Next week, we escape with one of the most famous stories of the First World War, Robert Buckner's classic and unforgettable tale, The Man Who Won the War. Goodbye, then, until this same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. Bing Crosby's got a wonderful lineup of guests on his CBS show this Wednesday. Tomorrow night on most of these same CBS stations, it'll be the Firehouse 5 plus 2 plus 3 Andrews sisters plus Derbingle himself. Be listening, won't you? Now stay tuned for the latest adventures of Philip Marlowe, which follow immediately over most of these same stations. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The American Broadcasting Company Radio Network presents Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy are inside a small atmosphere shell on the planet Pluto. Outside the transparent dome, a gang of armed criminals approach in spacesuits.
Stoken and Savage and the gang. Hey, Commander, they've got to come through that airlock one by one. We can pick them off if they try to come in.
Corey, this is Savage. You are trapped. Now be smart and give up.
He's on our miniature spaceophone frequency.
Savage, this is Corey. If you want us, come in and get us.
Don't be a fool. There are 8 of us, and we got blasters. We can crack the atmosphere shell and bring that whole dome down on top of you.
Smoking rockets, Commander.
What are we going to do?
We'll be back in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, The Hermit of Pluto. The United States has seen many changes in the past dozen years, all pointing to a still better way of living. Billions more Americans are working, earning more, saving more. We're eating more and eating better. More young people are going to high school and college. More of us are getting paid vacations. More of us are enjoying the luxuries of life. Sports, radio, television, the theater, concerts, church attendance, and membership has climbed steadily upward. In addition to these material and spiritual changes have come the miracles of jet propulsion, supersonic flight, antibiotics. All these changes have produced tremendous needs. We need factories, and machinery needs modernizing to increase our output of electric power. Our current needs add up to greater employment and investment opportunities for practically everyone in America. The better you know America, the better the future looks. Write for the free booklet, The Future of America, Box 1776, Grand Central Station, New York 17. Now today's Space Patrol adventure, The Hermit of Pluto. Commander Corey and Cadet Happy are on a special mission to Pluto, outermost planet of the solar system. 40 times as far from the sun as the planet Earth, Pluto is a dark and frozen world. The gases that would be its atmosphere lie in a solid coating like ice upon its surface. In Pluto's black sky, the remote sun appears as a large flaming star. The population of Pluto City is protected from the cold airlessness of space by a thin atmosphere shell. Beneath this huge transparent bubble, life goes on as it does on Earth, or Terra, or Mars. It is not quite the same as Buzz and Happy are observing as they walk down a dimly lighted street of the city.
Gee, Commander, why don't the city commissioners do something about those lights? This is the biggest city on Pluto, and yet we can hardly see where we're going.
In lots of ways, Happy, this is still a pioneer community.
Yeah, and from the looks of the buildings in this neighborhood, maybe it's just as well that the streets aren't too well lighted.
No. Pluto is still a frontier planet, Hap. Uh-oh.
Hey, it looks like a fight. No! Hey, Commander, look, it's 2 against 1. They're sure slugging that guy.
Come on, Hap.
Yes, sir. We should have brought our ray guns.
All right, break it up.
Oh, hey, come back here. Dirty cowards. Shall I go after him, Commander?
Let's take care of this man. He may be hurt.
I don't wonder, the way they were hitting him.
Here, let me help you. Thanks.
Those 2 guys sure disappeared fast.
Get him under a light, see if he's hurt. I'm all right. Thanks. I'm sure glad you came along. What was it all about? A couple of thugs jumped out of the doorway and started slugging me. It's so a man can't walk down the street without some hoodlum. You're Sam Morris. Yeah, that's right. Oh, Commander Corey. I knew you 2 were space patrollers, but the light was so bad I couldn't... Happy, this is Sam Morris. Sam, Cadet Happy.
How do you do, Mr. Morris?
Howdy, Cadet. Sam, better let us take you to a doctor at headquarters. Oh, no, thanks. I'm all right.
You've had quite a slugging from those characters.
I'm fine. Well, it's sure nice to see you again, Commander, but if you'll excuse me... Are you still prospecting, Sam? Oh, now and then. Right now, I'm more or less of a watchman, you might say. Here in Pluto City? No, several hundred miles north of here. Guess you might call me a licensed squatter.
You're a watchman? Well, what's there to watch that far north on this planet?
Well, just some government equipment. It's in an atmosphere shell. Used to be a base for some government explorers, mining engineers, and the like. I sort of take care of the equipment until the government decides what they want to do with it. Well, thanks for the rescue, Commander. Oh, wait a minute, Sam. You've had a pretty rough going over it. Oh, I'm okay. These fellas hadn't taken me by surprise. I could have handled them both.
They sure ruined your clothes. Look, your jacket's all ripped. The pocket's torn off.
Oh, it's an old thing anyway. I got a couple of licks in there, remember. Are you sure you don't know who they are? No, of course not. Just a couple of Pluto City thugs. If they knew how broke I was, they wouldn't have bothered. Oh, I've got to run along now. Thanks a lot, Commander. You too, Cadet.
Glad you had met you, Mr. Morris.
Hey, Sam, wait a minute. I got to run along now. I'm late for an appointment. See you around, Commander.
Yeah. You took that beating pretty lightly. From the way he acts, you'd think this was something that happened to him every day.
I have a feeling there's more to this than just an attempt to hold us. Well, we'd better run about our business, Happy. Oh, what's this?
Well, flash my camera license.
Money.
A whole lot of it.
Large bills, too. Mostly 50 credit notes.
And here's a card. A business card of some kind.
They belong to Mars.
Hey, the Commander, didn't he say he was broke?
Shine your light in this card, man.
Yes, sir.
John Harbach, mineralogist. Expert testing and analysis. 412 North Andromeda Street, Pluto City.
This card may have dropped out of Morris's jacket when those guys tore his pocket.
Yeah. After we take care of our business, we'll drop in on Harbach and see if he knows where Mars is staying.
Then you think this money belongs to him? Even when he claims to be broke?
No, it might. Fellows like Morris always say they're broke. Keeps people from getting curious about where a prospector gets his money.
Yeah, but why would he fib to you?
Well, just to keep him practicing. If this money does belong to Morris, I'm sure he'll be glad to get it back. Hang on to that card, Hap. We'll drop in on Harbach on our way back.
At this hour, Andromeda Street, like the rest of this section of Pluto City, is almost totally dark. Buzz and Happy walk toward a pool of violet light that streams across the sidewalk from the shop window.
Oh, this is 412, Commander. That's the only place in the street with a light on.
Well, we're locked.
Uh-oh. The light went out.
There's one on inside, here in the back.
It's locked. This Harbach is just leaving. That's why the light in the window went on.
Automatic ultraviolet light, huh? Look in the window.
Oh, those rocks. They're glowing.
Fluorescent. They absorb ultraviolet rays and radiate them in the dark.
The rocks sure are pretty. But they're roasted on this street. It's completely deserted.
Well, we got here too late. How about... Look inside. See that showcase?
It's open.
Looks like someone's lying there on the floor.
Harbach must have been robbed. What a neighborhood.
Force the door, Hap.
Yes, sir. I'll turn on the light.
All right. These two didn't come. Let's get him away from that shattered showcase.
Yes, sir. Don't hit me.
That's all right. We're space patrollers. Oh. Thought they were still here. Who attacked you?
These 2 men. I never saw them before. They came in just as I was closing shop.
Are you John Harbach?
Yes. Guy really something. Sure tore the place apart.
Is the safe locked?
It's supposed to be. I'll check. That's relief. I didn't get it open.
By the looks of your desk over there, they seem to be more interested in your record. You know why?
No. Well, not exactly.
What do you mean, not exactly? What happened here?
Well, like I said, these 2 men came in just as I was closing. They wanted me to run a test on a piece of cloth.
Piece of cloth?
Yeah, I thought it was strange myself, me dealing with minerals. But it turned out there were traces of minerals in the fabric. That's what they were interested in.
Well, this cloth, did they say where they got it?
No, but it looked like it was torn off a man's coat or jacket.
A pocket, maybe?
Yeah, that's it. They had me put it in an ultrasonic chamber to loosen the dust. Then I ran an analysis of the particles that came out of the cloth. And after that, they got rough.
Why?
They wanted some information about one of my customers, and I wouldn't give it to them.
Well, this customer, is his name Sam Morris?
Yes. How did you know?
He was attacked by 2 men earlier this evening. Was he hurt? I just bruised a little. After he went away, the cadet and I found one of your business cards on the sidewalk. That's why we came here. Why were these men interested in Morris?
On account of the stronolite, I guess.
Stronolite?
And there were traces of stronolite in the dust particles from the piece of cloth. Probably from the samples Morris brought here to have assays.
Stronolite. It's a very rare and valuable metal.
Morris made a strike, huh?
And I make it a policy not to ask questions of my customers, but that's a reasonable conclusion.
Then you wouldn't tell these men about Morris. They slugged you and went through your records. Is that right?
Yes.
You know where we can contact Morris?
No, Commander. He never told me anything about himself. I guess he's sort of a hermit. Very secretive.
Did he mention an abandoned government station north of Pluto City?
No. Maybe one of those men did. Let's see if I can remember what was said. But after I analyzed the cloth and mentioned stronolite, one of the men said that. So that's why Morris has been holding up at that old exploration base, and the other man made him shut up.
You remember anything else?
No. Wait a minute. One of them said Morris is probably all alone in that shell, and there are 8 of us.
Captain, you'd better find Morris right away.
Yes, sir. Now that these crooks know that he's...
Yeah. There's someone across the street watching this shop. They put a bench through the window.
Want me to go over and investigate, sir?
They'll turn off the lights and stay there to leave it. How about don't look out the window until the lights are on?
All right, Commander.
See him?
Yeah, but not very clearly.
He's carrying off down the street now.
Trail him, Hap. I'll take Harbach to headquarters. He'll be safe in there. We'll keep in touch through your miniature spaceophone.
Half an hour later, Commander Corey leaves the Pluto City Space Patrol headquarters in a surface car. His receiver is tuned with special miniature spaceophone frequency.
Cadet Happy calling Commander Corey. Cadet Happy calling Commander Corey.
Corey here. Go ahead, Hap.
I'm on Polaris. 900 block. Half a block behind the man I'm tailing.
What's he up to?
Nothing so far, but I got a pretty good look at him. Half interesting. I swear he's one of the men that jumped Sam Morris.
I'm in a surface car about a half mile from you. I'll come by and pick him up.
Okay, Commander. Uh-oh. Another man just stepped out of the doorway. 2 of them are walking together.
Probably his partner. Don't lose them, Hap. I'll be right there.
I didn't have a chance to finish Harbach. Two space patrols were in a shop.
Well, if you hadn't got panicky, we could have done the job when we were there before.
Well, it doesn't matter, Savage. Harbach won't be able to put the finger on us anyway. Be out of Pluto City in half an hour.
Yeah, but Harbach knows we're interested in Sam Morris. If the Space Patrol tips Sam off, we... Duncan, we're being followed.
Huh?
Don't turn around. Just keep walking. When you turn the corner, we'll wait and let him catch up.
Okay.
Now, press close to the wall.
Yeah.
You looking for somebody?
Space Patrol Cadet.
He's going for his leg and grab him.
Damn it! Help me! Get your hands off of me! Oh, yeah!
Good doing, Savage. Come on, let's get away from him.
Wait a minute, Duncan. We're not going to make the same mistake as we did with Harbach. We're going to finish him.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. Listen, kids, you know how much fun it is to be growing up. Every day there's a new thrill. Well, here's a thrill maybe you haven't tried yet, and believe me, you'll like it. It's the fun of having enough money to get the things you want. Maybe a new bike or a camera, or saving for something big like business school or college in the years to come. Sound good? Well, here's how you do it. Put a part of your allowance and the extra cash you earn each week into school savings. It doesn't take long to have enough to buy a real United States savings bond like Dad gets all the time. And this is important. Bonds earn money for you. Uncle Sam stands behind them, and they're safe. So start to save now at your school. Mother and Dad will be proud of you for saving part of your allowance, and you'll have the fun of seeing your own money grow. A thrifty person is usually a better citizen. And take it from me, he's a lot happier than the fellow who saves nothing and can't buy the things he needs. Remember, save regularly every week at school. Have the money for the things you want when you want it. Now back to today's Space Patrol adventure, the Hermit of Pluto. Buzz and Happy are on the planet Pluto, where they've learned that two men are using violent methods to obtain information on valuable deposits of the mineral stronolite, discovered by a prospector, Sam Morris. Using a miniature spaceophone, Happy has contacted Buzz in a surface car, and has reported that he's trailing two suspects through the dark streets of Pluto City. Discovering that Happy is following them, the two men raid around the corner of a building and grab the cadet.
You heard what I said, Duncan. Let's finish him.
Well, look, Savage, a ray gun would put him out, and we can get away from the city.
Yeah? And when he comes to, he could continue the chase. Do what I tell you.
What have you guys got to be afraid of? You really must be up to something crooked.
Shut up, Cadet. And quit struggling or I'll break your arm.
All I know about you is that your names are Savage and Duncan, and you're walking down Polaris Street. And then all of a sudden you jump me on the corner of Polaris and Sigma Streets.
I told you to shut up. Go on, Duncan, get to work.
You're going to be sorry. There's a Space Patrol surface car on the way here now.
You're bluffing.
Savage. One of those miniature space phones hanging on his belt. He's been mentioning the street names. That gadget's turned on.
Then we got to work fast.
Take us to the car now. Trying to sneak up with the lights out.
Help me hold it, Cadet. We'll drag him down to the alley. Come on.
Let's get moving, Cadet.
Hold it, you two. Commander!
Let's go, Ray. Let's get out of here.
Use your ray gun. Let them have it. Oh, you don't?
Get your hands up.
Get the Cadet out. Take care of Corey. We got both of them, Duncan.
I'll take one. The whole neighborhood will be full of space patrols in 2 minutes.
Yeah. And that's why we can't go running through the streets. Get into the car.
But Savage.
Don't argue. Get into the car, quick.
Okay.
We'll ditch the car a block from the spaceport. Come on, get in.
A few moments after Duncan and Savage roar away in the commander's surface car, another Space Patrol car rushes to the scene to find Buzz and Happy unconscious on the sidewalk. Slightly more than an hour later, in Pluto City headquarters, Buzz checks with Space Control, then turns to Happy.
2 ships blasted off while we were under the effects of the ray gun. One of them was Sam Morris.
And Savage and Duncan were in the other.
Very likely. The second ship was registered to H.D. Margolis. So far, our agents haven't been able to locate anyone by that name here in Pluto City.
Well, it could be an alias of either Duncan or Savage, I think.
Yes. The surface car I was using, one of our men found it abandoned and blocked from the spaceport.
Well, if they try to land at any other spaceport, we'll have it.
The trouble is they know it. I figured they're desperate enough to go right after Sam Morris.
You ought to tip Morris off.
I tried to reach him by spaceophone. I've an idea Morris is back at that abandoned station working his time.
Oh, with Savage and Duncan, I think he's in a dangerous spot.
To save his life, we've got to find Morris and persuade him to Stay in a safe place until we capture those two cutthroats. Now, come on, let's get to the spaceport.
On a northward course, the Terra 5 arcs over the frozen surface of Pluto toward the tiny atmosphere shell 900 miles from Pluto City. Through the infrared viewscope, Buzz and Happy scan the terrain beneath them.
According to the charts, the shell is just a few miles ahead.
Yes, but I want to be sure there's no activity on the ground here. If Duncan and Savage plan to surprise Morris, we'd have to use an overland approach.
Maybe Morris isn't at the shell. He hasn't answered any of our spacephone calls.
He may be out prospecting. He could be purposely ignoring us.
Doesn't he realize we're trying to help him?
He's very stubborn and suspicious. Now that he's found some stronolite, he's probably twice as cautious.
Say, Commander, does living all alone in out-of-the-way places make people a little peculiar? Or are they peculiar to begin with?
Men like Morris are a lot more self-reliant than most people, Happy. When Morris acts in a way you think is strange, just remember that his behavior has helped him survive in a very rugged environment. That's interesting. What's the viewscope screen?
Spaceship?
No. There's a place down there where a spaceship might have landed. See that dark scar on the surface of the planet between those two peaks?
Yes, sir.
It's the only place in this whole region where the ground isn't completely covered with frozen atmosphere.
A ship scraped it clean when it landed, huh?
I think the heat from the rocket exhaust did it on the blast off. After we contact Morris, we'll come back and search this whole region. Vandercory aboard Terra 5 calling Sam Morris at Pluto Exploration Base 5. Vandercory to Sam Morris, urgent. Please acknowledge.
As the Terra 5 continues northward, two men watch the ship from inside a small atomic-powered tank hidden in a narrow ravine, half a mile from the scarred ground.
You think they spotted us, Savage?
I don't think so. This tank is camouflaged to blend with the frozen air. We're lucky. Harkness blasted off in our ship just in time.
Boy, he must be heading for the atmosphere ship.
Yeah. Contact the other tank and we'll move on.
You aren't going to move in on Morris now, are you?
Why not? Corey's still there when we arrive. We can finish him, too.
That's likely to be quite a job.
No, it won't be. Corey's ship will be outside the shell. And with 2 tanks and 8 men on our side, anyone inside the shell will be at our mercy. Space upon the other tank. Let's move forward. There's the shell, Commander.
Yes, that's Morris's ship just outside the airlock.
There's no other ship in sight. Morris must be there alone.
I'll try once more before we land. Vandercory aboard Terra 5 calling Sam Morris at Pluto Exploration Base 5. Sam, if you read me, acknowledge. This is urgent.
Morris to Corey. What do you want?
Where are you? Inside the shell?
Yeah, I'm pretty busy.
You're in serious danger. I've got to talk to you in person. Somebody may be picking up this spacephone conversation.
Well, all right. You'll have to land outside the shell. The Global doesn't have a space lock.
Yes, I know. We'll set down near your ship. Hurry out.
Inside the small atmosphere shell of the exploration base, Buzz and Happy quickly tell Sam Morris of their encounters with Duncan and Savage, as the prospector listens without comment, stroking his chin reflectively.
This is serious, Morris. But let us take you away from here right away.
Nothing doing, Commander. I know my rights. Those crooks aren't going to run me off.
Sure you're in the right, Mr. Morris, but you're all alone, 900 miles from Pluto City.
You won't lose out on your claim to the stronolite, I guarantee.
Well, I'm not taking any chances.
You're taking plenty of chances by staying here. Now, look, Morris, you're here as an official government watchman, but whatever you find under the ground, that's yours by right of discovery.
You sure of that?
Of course.
We're only trying to help you, Mr. Morris.
Well, I don't know. I figure a man's got to stand his ground on his own. The minute you let somebody do you a favor, you start wanting something in return.
Leave us, Mr. Morris. We only... Commander, look out there. Through the atmosphere ship.
There's your answer, Morris.
Men in spacesuits climbing out of tanks.
Savage and Duncan in the ground. Have you got any weapons here?
Ray gun. They've got to come through that airlock one by one. We can pick them off if they try to come in.
Corey, this is Savage. Listen to me. You're trapped. Turn Morris over to us and save your skin.
Hear that, sir? He's on our miniature spacephone frequency.
Yes, I heard it. Savage, if you want us, come in and get us.
That's telling you, Commander.
Don't be a fool, Corey. There are 8 of us and just 3 of you. And we've got blasters.
You're right by the airlock. Come on in.
You think I'm crazy? All we got to do is fire our blasters at this atmosphere shell. It will crack. and the whole dome will fall in on you.
We wouldn't stand a chance, even in our spacesuit. Listen, Morris says he'd have his spacesuit.
I'll give you 2 minutes to make up your mind, Corey.
Morris, we don't have any actual weapons, so we'll have to improvise. But out of what? We've only got 2 minutes. That big cone over there, isn't that a heat projector? Yes, but it's not a very strong one. It wouldn't penetrate their spacesuits at this distance. We'll have to. Come on, let's turn it on and focus it towards Savage and his men. I tell you, it's not going to do any good. It won't do any more than melt that frozen atmosphere outside the dome. That's exactly what I want. This is a major kill switch, isn't it? Sure, but I don't see what good. Just what? I will just focus the heat beam at their feet.
It's not doing anything, sir. Like Morris says, it isn't strong enough.
It's melting that frozen air on the ground.
Yeah, but they're just waiting around in puddles of liquid air.
Corey, cut off the heat beam. Cut it off or I'll order my men to fire at the dome. I can tell from here that you got one of those Mark 6 heat projectors. It couldn't even make close to this distance.
He's right, Commander. They're just waiting in liquid air, and it's not much more than ankle deep. That's fine. I will just shut the heat off.
You might as well quit stalling, Corey.
All right, Savage. The heat's been shut off. Come in the airlock.
Oh, you're being smart. All right, man. Corey's given up. Into the airlock.
Commander, you aren't just giving up without a fight. I don't think a fight would be necessary.
All right, man, you heard me. Get going. Let's... I can't. Oh, Duncan, come here and put me out of this. I can't. We all are.
Hey, the air is frozen solid again around their legs.
Corey, that's what the clever trick. But it's not going to save you. Now get there again or I'll blast that dome.
If you finish us, what's going to happen to you? You'll stand there rooted in frozen air for the rest of your lives.
He's right, Savage. Every one of us is stuck. If you blast that dome in on Corey, we'll never get out. Corey, maybe you can care about yourself. But there's the Cadet and Morris. You aren't going to sacrifice them just to keep us trapped here.
Commander, he's raising his blast gun.
Savage, if you bring this dome down on us, what are those 7 pals of yours going to think of you?
What do you mean?
The air supply of those suits isn't going to last indefinitely. Neither will the heating units. Then your men are going to start thinking about how they got into this predicament. They'll realize they're doomed, and they'll hate you. You're all armed, Savage. The first man to start gasping for breath, or the first man to feel himself growing numb with cold, what's he going to be thinking about you? You'll be just a few feet away within easy range of his blast gun.
This is no Savage. Put down that gun or I'll blast you myself right now. All right. You win.
Order your men to drop their weapons. That's it. Cap, I'll cover you while you go out to the airlock and pick up those guns.
They sure didn't need any urgency. I guess they all got cold feet.
A preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. Did you know that thousands of bright, alert girls are choosing nursing as a career today? And did you know that despite this high enrollment, we need still more and more nurses? Well, these are facts. Facts that young women about to embark on careers should know and heed. Today, the advantages of enrolling as a student nurse are many. She receives a fine professional education working under the supervision of skilled doctors and nurses in well-equipped classrooms and laboratories. She serves humanity, enjoys a pleasant dormitory life, and upon completing her 3-year course is eligible to become a graduate nurse. After this, countless interesting fields are open to her. Best of all, she's well prepared for marriage. If you're a high school graduate or a college student in good health, consider nursing as a career and go to your nearest hospital to learn how you can become a nurse. Help meet this year's quota of student nurses. Now a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. A criminal scientist has discovered a method of traveling back through time. He's taken Buzz and Happy back 14 centuries and has left them on a desolate seacoast on the planet Earth.
Hey, Commander, I just can't realize that we're back in the year 1591.
Let's make the best of it. After all, our ancestors did.
You mean we're stuck here in the past forever?
Perhaps. There's one slight chance of getting back.
Well, what is it, Commander? Hey,
Commander, I feel strange. Everything's going black. What's the time? I don't know. I feel like I'm floating. Hey, Commander, what's happening to us anyway? Hey, Commander! Where are you?
Be with us next week for the thrilling Space Patrol story, The Time Pirates. Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Torrey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Helen Moser. Other players were Bela Kovacs, Norman Jolly, and Ken Mayer. Dick Wesson speaking. Don't forget to tune in next Saturday at the same time for exciting adventure on Space Patrol. This program was broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.